There we go. We're live on the interwebs. Let me see if I can find us out here. Got to get the old refresh. I got to say, I always got to say, happy Wednesday night, everybody. Welcome to Home Service Happy Hour. It's always a Wednesday night. It's kind of like there's Taco Tuesday and then there's Home Service Happy Hour podcast Wednesday. That's how the week flows. If you're out there and you're just jumping in and tuning in, go. This is my instruction for everybody, which is they tend to jump onto like a personal Facebook page, and StreamYard and Facebook did this thing where you can't share or you can comment, but it won't show up like in the StreamYard feed.
Okay.
The systems are doing system things. So if you want to participate and hang out and BS with us and drop your comments and whatever you got, get over to the Best Damn Bookkeeping page. I'm going to do a thing that I've been instructed to do by my producer man, which is I find us out here. There we are. I found us. And I am going to share the post via, let's see. I'm going to copy it. There's a way to copy it. All right. Copied it. I'm going to go back to my personal page. And if you guys tune in on my personal page throughout this live show, the top comment is going to be me telling you to get over to the business page so that when you do comment, there, I think that's the one.
Got it?
I found it. All right. So here's what you guys got to do. You got to get into the Best Damn Bookkeeping Facebook page and interact from there. That's where the cool stuff is happening. That's where the cool kids are. And nobody will take your lunch money if you're over there. So get in the Best Damn Bookkeeping.
Yeah, where's lunch money these days?
That's a really good question. I don't know. It's just the thing I say. But get over to the Best Damn Bookkeeping page, you guys. And then when you're dropping comments and questions and hanging out with us and having some fun, then I can see it. I'll see it on I got my phone over here with my personal page. So if you drop a thing there, I'll be able to see it, but I won't be able to share it and have fun with it with the rest of the audience. So that said, happy Wednesday night, everybody. Home Service Happy Hour brought to you by Best Damn Bookkeeping. And tonight brought to you by the pleasantly raw Kedma. Yes. Kedma, I said your last name earlier to you today when we were talking, and I was like, is it O? Is it?
Yes, it is literally the letter O. Brought to you. It's brought to you by the letter O.
Brought to you by the letter O. But you spiced it up. You threw another vowel and two consonants in it.
Well, you know, I've been told before that I'm too innovative.
Well, hey, like the best, this is a true story. The best advice I ever got when I first started podcasting was from Keith Kalfas. And it was advice he had gotten as well. But the advice was be yourself with the microphone turned all the way up. And my response to that was like, man, that sounds dangerous. I'm already pretty loud. I don't know if you need the microphone turned all the way up.
Right.
But that advice, as well as much of your advice through the years, has like really influenced where I've decided to like go with my businesses and stuff like that. Because, and I got this feedback this week. I had two people on the same day. One was a guy that I had demos with that was, he's now a bookkeeping client as of like, it was like our third meeting. The first one was kind of like coaching. And then it was like, I got to get signed up. And he had said like, I didn't know what to expect, but I've been watching your show for years, which I'm always like, oh shit, somebody's watching. How cool is that? and his feedback was, wow, like you're exactly who you always are. And I was like, well, yeah, I really don't know how to be anybody else. Like it's hard enough to be me. I don't know why I would try to be somebody else. And the same day I got the same feedback and I was like, well, I've clearly taken that advice to heart. I'm just myself with the microphone turned all the way up. And I'm kind of that way, whether I'm parenting or I'm a leader of my business or I'm doing a podcast. This is full speed Dan. And I'm just always going full speed Dan.
Well, can I just acknowledge that, Dan, because actually that is not common. And, you know, the circles that you and I actually navigate, we know that to be true. And sometimes how you show up in the world is not who you are. But the more you can go into integrity, the more you can go into authenticity. And authenticity, you know, to me, it's not about, hey, every day is a great day. Hey, I know everything. Like the first thing I always say, even with my own cleaning company, is I say, listen, I'm a terrible cleaner. If I call my team right now and be like, hey, I just feel inspired, I'd like to come clean, they'll be like, Coach, we can't afford to lose more customers. You're not a good cleaner. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, straight up.
I'm okay with that. It's like, so, but in your lane, just be in your lane. If the lane you're swimming in, it's not you, call it out.
Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to know, right? Sometimes we get like conflicted, but I think like we tend to get back to center. Joe Devino checking. Well, first, Alvin was checking in and said, hey, good to be here with you too. What's up, Alvin? Joe Devino, my man, said it's my favorite podcast, real on every level. I don't know if that's what makes it a good podcast, but at least it helps it be consistent.
Oh, look at Joe. What's up, Joe? Joe, you've got some fan here. I love that. What does Joe do?
Joe has a couple different businesses outside of North Carolina, like Raleigh, and then he's got a water rental business on the coast.
Nice.
And he, more than that, he's a hunting buddy of mine, hunting and fishing buddy. So like we boondoggle. We do business trips where nice. my wife is very clear. She's like, hey, I know you're like on a business trip, but let's not like split hairs here. You're out drinking beer with your friends and you're hunting and fishing. It's just also a business trip. And I'm like, yeah, but like, you can't hate that. That's the business that I have. And that's who I get to do business with. It's quite lovely.
Right. I love it.
Perfect.
And who is Freedom Man who said, yo, 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 yo?
I don't know. But then he finished with a cool. There's like 17 yos followed by a cool. What's up, Freedom Man? He's so free. He yo-yoed the feed.
Oh, that's funny.
Speaking of yo-yos, did you ever yo-yo when you were an adolescent? Were you a yo-yoer? Yeah.
If you're asking if I was part of the yo-yo competition, which that was like that when I was growing up, no, I was not part of the yo-yo competition. But there have been people who I know competed in the yo-yo competition.
Okay. I think I owned one, but I never seriously got yo-yoing.
No, I didn't seriously get yo-yo. No.
It's all right. Me and you both. What's new with you, Kedma? What are you feeling? What are you feeling?
Well, first of all, I'm feeling gratitude here. You know, I always say that and this may not be the right answer, but it's the answer that's right for me. It's really hard to know who your friends are, because as you're going through life, you have lots of friends. You have lots of people in your corner. But then you have to ask yourself, are they going to be there when things are not going great?
Yeah.
And that's how I really decipher, right? Because I watch, when people are going through hard stuff, and you and I really have a lot of similar tracking on that. There are times where I've seen you at your highest, and there are times where I've seen you at your lowest. And, when I think back on that, I would hope that our relationship stands the test of time. So I think today, I would say the answer to that question is I'm in a wonderful move, a season of change. And that's not a bad thing. We think change is bad. Change is negative because of how society sets that up. But change could be a wonderful thing. It's like, if you've been in the same elementary class for 10 years in a row and they say, hey, time for you to go up to junior high. It's not a bad thing.
That gives me feelings when you say that, because I remember feeling really small, like just as a human, like elementary school I could handle. And then the world all of a sudden got so big, and what used to be like reading and writing became English, and like the words got bigger, and I felt stupid. And I remember going to middle school, it's probably the most intimidated I felt. I don't think I felt as intimidated when I went to high school or even to college. I think college by then I was like very confident, but like somewhere like going from elementary school to middle school, that was probably like the most overwhelmed I ever felt. Cause I used to walk down the street to school or bike to school. I lived a block away from our elementary school, and all of a sudden now I had to go ride the city bus, and I had to go take these classes that had like the word algebra in them and
Mhm.
English and language arts and foreign languages. And I was like, oh man, the world just got like real. And I don't think adolescent Dan, I mean, I still act like an adolescent, but like
That's what I
truly
love about you.
age-wise adolescent Dan was not prepared for like the size of the world. It was scary.
Well, let me speak to that, and because you just triggered something for me. So my biggest thing from elementary and in junior high is they always wanted you in groups. And where I got a lot of anxiety, whether it was in a classroom format or whether it was in the gym, is what they would say is, okay, they would have captains, pick your team.
Mm-hmm.
And inside, I'm like, are they going to pick me? Do I deserve to be on the team?
Yeah.
Am I going to be the last person? And in some ways, we are trained at a very young age to reflect back on, wait, how is our society going to look at us? And we don't even realize it. But what if we were not picked? What if we were picked last? What if we were picked and someone said you're on the wrong team? And how does that reflect back to our own identity? So anyway, kicking back to what you said.
I wonder. So there's a funny thing that I have found through my own trajectory and transformations and stuff, which is when I was younger,
Mhm.
I was not the leader. I was not the picker. There was a moment. I wasn't the captain of my football team. I wasn't X, Y, and Z. But there was a specific moment where we were in a football game. Like it was halftime.
Mhm.
We were playing the number one team in the state that hadn't lost in like 2 years. And they were in our division. We had to play them every year.
Right.
And we were in the game. Like a couple plays and we would have been winning at halftime. And the coach was kind of ho-humming. And our captains weren't motivating people. And I stood on the bench. And I don't know how many F words came out of my mouth. But the team ran out of the locker room, and it was just me and the coach standing there, and he's like, all right, I guess we're going to play. Like, I got everybody so fired up because I was like, why are we like pussyfooting around here? Like, we're in a football game.
And what did they say?
I mean, nobody said it. Everybody ran screaming.
Oh, they just kept going. Yeah.
They were so pumped up, and we won the game. We were like the only team to beat them, and that was a catalyst to like, oh shit, I'm the one that's supposed to be picking people. Like that was kind of when my mentality changed of like, I'm not here waiting to get picked anymore. I'm the one that's supposed to be picking people. And ever since.
And when did you realize, like, it was an aha moment, or you're just like, well, nobody else is doing it, I'm going to do it?
Yeah. I just kind of got annoyed that everybody was like sitting around and they're like, feeling sorry for themselves that every play didn't turn out. And I was like, you guys were like down by a touchdown to the number one team in the state, and we should be beating them. Like, we are outplaying them. And we've lost to them 3 times in games that were like closer than anybody else plays them. Mm-hmm. Like, we're on this field for, like I said, there was a lot of F-bombs flying out of my mouth for a senior in high school, but I was just fired up and I was like, we got these guys. And we did. The best part was it was in the rain. Football in the rain is like a glorious thing because everybody's just muddy.
You got the mud?
Oh yeah. We were like sliding around, making mud angels on their field after we knocked them off. But to like the waiting to be picked, I do remember that feeling, and I try to really work on culture. And this is the thing that you very much instilled in me when I was in Conquer with you was like the core values and really focusing on that. And I'm a core value addict now. I'm obsessed with core values. And I go so far out of my way. I don't want anybody to feel like they're not, like they're the one that maybe isn't getting picked. Right. Like because we've been there. And people deserve better than that. Like, I don't want my team feeling anxious about stuff. I want them running out of the locker room like they're in freaking Braveheart and they're going to go take over the world. Like that's what I want people to feel like. I don't want them sitting there thinking like, oh no, what if he calls my number and I'm the next one running the play? I want everybody saying, give me the damn ball.
I love that.
But it took me a little bit to like feel like, oh, leadership isn't a position, it's a trait. It's a behavior. Yeah. Like, I wasn't a captain, but nobody else got up and said, you guys, let's fucking go do this thing. We got a football game to go, and we're going to go do it. And like, it kind of like dawned on me. And I've heard people put it in that way of like, leadership is not, it's a behavior. It's not a role. It's not a job title. Anybody can do it. Right.
Anybody can do it.
Rallying people and getting them to believe in a common goal. It's like, oh man, like you can do that in any role in the company.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to
100%.
wait. You don't have to wait for somebody to ask you to do it.
And also I want to acknowledge, is it freedom? He's like, I feel like that. I don't know what you feel like, but if you're resonating with us, we see you, we hear you. So yeah, just if you resonate with anything we're talking about, just go into more detail or feel free to ask a question, because really, this is I like to say it's a very open-ended conversation, right? So what you say, what you think would actually trigger us. Let me share two sound bites that come first to mind that resonate to what you said, Dan. The first is I believe in the idea of frequency, and it's not woo-woo. I believe in the law of frequency, right? And so sometimes, and we'll talk more about this, but sometimes logic can't get us out of our own situation. Mm-hmm. And so if we believe every company has a frequency, right? So this is not woo-woo. So I'm going to talk business. And what do I mean by frequency? We can call it culture, we can call it connection, but it's a frequency. So meaning if I walk into Intel, which I've done before, that's an interesting frequency versus walking into, let's say, the company Ben and Jerry's, right? Mm-hmm. Every company has a frequency. Make sure yours can be felt from the driveway.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you think about the visual of what a driveway looks like, you got to make sure they feel that before they got to the home. Now you got to think about how do you align that with your business. So that's from your team, your company's approach. The second thing is, the reason that statement is true is your customer will feel your culture in the first 10 seconds.
Like even on the phone, even on your website,
even on a post. So when I'm doing my videos, right, I will have people say to me, Kedma, I felt you. You were in the room with me. I felt like you understood me. What they're referencing is a frequency that touches us past logic. It's past logic. How many times have you looked and you're like, oh my God, I needed to hear this. I need to hear this at this right time, in this right moment. That's not a coincidence. That's what we call confirmation. Mm-hmm. So those are the two things that when you were saying that, I just want to call it out to the community. We all have a company frequency. Question is, can it be felt from the driveway? What does that look like?
Yeah. I don't know if you'll remember this. Back to the core values thing. And this is probably when I got like really obsessive about culture, is we were on one of our Conquer calls.
Yeah.
And I was talking about this guy that I needed to fire, and I like knew I needed to fire him. And now when I talk about my core values, like I talk about them in interviews, and all of our internal awards, our core value awards, like I've really like embraced the hell out of them. But I remember talking about this Tony guy on my team and all the issues we were having with him. And you had said, well, like, what core value are you going to fire him with? And I was like, I don't have one. And you're like, sounds like you need new core values. And so like, that was the task you gave me, is I had to rewrite my core values. Yes. And one of them was positive attitude. And that one will never leave. And you probably get the sense, and we've talked about core values a lot on the show, but the one underlying thing is like, they already exist, right? Mm-hmm. They're yours and you have them. And so you just gotta like put words to them and make them meaningful. And so I kind of like laid the groundwork that if you're ever going to work with me, you have to be a glass half full, positive attitude, like fun person to be around. Life is way too short. I'm living that way. And if you're going to hang out with me and follow me and be part of my team, you have to.
What was the rest of your values?
In that business, our acronym was PLOW. And that was another.
PLOW. I remember PLOW. Okay, tell me more. Tell me more.
So you taught me, like, it's got to be an acronym. Like, you got to be able to remember it. It's got to be catchy. In this business, it's best and bookkeeping. So our acronym is best.
Okay, yeah, of course.
The first one is blessed, which is all about attitude.
Oh, I love that.
Glass half full and like looking at life that way. But I went so far in that window cleaning business, which I'm wearing our darn shirt here from that window cleaning business. I went so far as to we redeveloped our core values, and it was P for positive.
Who's we? The team?
Well, I mean, like me, Sean Day from Higher Lead Chill.
Oh yeah.
And the rest of our leadership team, and I ran it by our Conquer group too. I think before we settled on it. So we had positive attitude, loyalty, ownership, and accountability, and we serve. The W in plow was hard to dial in, but I wanted it to be about being a servant. And so we redid our core values, and we went so far as to take our services off of our shirts, and we put our core values on our shirts. I didn't have a mechanism or a reason at the time other than I was like, we got to embrace the hell out of this. And our customers already know why they hired us. They know we clean windows and pressure wash, but they need to know why we do it. And to what, back to the frequency thing, like when we're in the driveway and we walk up to that door, they already know we clean windows. We don't need to, they see us with ladders and squeegees. There's nobody doubting what it is we're doing. But it's like, it's the story of why we do it that's gravitating, not the fact that we have a mop and a squeegee in our hand.
And how has that changed how you like set your intention for your company?
It really has changed who I bring onto the team. Like it is such a hard filter, and who I excuse from the team. And you know this from being in business long enough, like there's clients that don't meet your core values. And they need to be fired too, because they bring down, they're just as cancerous as a bad employee sometimes, right? And if they're making your A players miserable at doing their job, it's not your A player that needs to go, it's the customer that needs to go. So I've gotten really aggressive at firing customers. Like we're going places that not everybody gets to come, and that's fine, but you don't get to be on our bus.
Here's the interesting thing about what you said is, number one, it sounds obvious. I'm gonna be cautious here. Hey, what's up, Andrew? Nice hoodie, Dan.
Yeah, this is his business. Hoodie. He bought me out of the business, but he let me keep the hoodie. Thanks, Andy.
The kahuna. So let's talk about logic and what I sometimes when I'm working with business owners, they are desperately trying to figure out a logical explanation for something. And some things are not logical. So let me explain. It is logical for you to make a statement on this podcast that, of course, culture is critical. And of course, you're going to let go of people who don't meet culture. And of course, you don't want anybody toxic. And yet, if that is true, Dan, and the other thing that is true is that a higher proportion of companies right now literally feed and allow a toxic environment. How can both be true?
I don't have an explanation, but I know I've been leading them before where I said that I would never put up with this. Here's a mechanism. I was the coach on a coaching call today, and it's through Ryan Lee's Landscape Lighting Secrets program, and it was culture and crew call today.
Right.
And we got into this a little bit of it. The fall gets tricky because you have employees with bad behaviors, but the season's winding down. Recruiting is trickier this time of year because the labor market is short on supply. People don't really like to switch jobs, and we get held hostage because we're like, it's the fall. We got to make money. Now's the time. This person sucks. They were a B player. Now they're a C player headed to be in a D player, but they know they've got me. Right. And I'm like, it's hard to be, there's not a great reactive solution. And so while we say we're going to have this certain culture, we end up getting held hostage until we learn how to get really good at recruiting proactively and letting our team know. And I do this with my team. And I don't mean it as a threat. I mean it as like an excitement thing, but my team knows I have 10 people lined up that want their job. Always. At least 10 on my bench that are I'm in communication with about when they're going to come and work here, because we're going to need them all. The last person I just brought on, I recruited a year ago, and I will stay in touch with them because it's not important to me. Like I don't recruit and hire at the same time. They're two different things. I'm building relationships. Like the guy that just signed up for our service this week, he's known me for 3 years. He's listened to the podcast. He's followed stuff. Like, why
did it take 3 years?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, I was just curious.
I don't have a good explanation, but now's the time. Now's when he's ready. And so like it's not important that I interview you now and I'm like gonna roll the dice on you. Like I just need to know who I'm gonna call first, and I'm not always gonna get it right. But if I don't, I need to have somebody ready to call, because if I have an employee with bad behaviors, I can't hang on to them and wait because I need somebody that can do the job. I have to be ready to switch now. And my team also needs, for the sake of my A players don't want to be stuck picking up the slack for a B or a C player. And the worse that slide gets, the more they have to pick up the slack. So it's not about the fairness to that employee that maybe doesn't fit on the bus anymore. It's about the fairness to all your A players and your customers. Like, that's who you're protecting. I used to get held hostage by a bad employee, by the Tony who made us rewrite our core values back in the day. I would get held hostage because they were good producers and they showed up every day and whatever X, Y, and Z, right? I'd make excuses for it. And to exactly what you said, even though my best of intentions where I want this great culture and we're all like working hard and playing hard and going in the right direction, we end up getting held hostage.
Right. Love it. Love it. I don't know how to, I'm going to give it in the private chat. If you can somehow bring it into the comments. When you talked about core values, I don't want to forget it. Our core values, because I do a lot in the world, but I also own a cleaning company.
Yeah.
And our core values are right on the website. And it's talked about and shared. And so, I'm just going through ours is we call it clean, right? Number one, if you don't meet the first one, don't worry about the other four. That's how easy it is for us. So if you can't meet the first of the core values, you don't have to worry about the other four. The first one is really easy. Caring culture. Can you be caring? Can you be compassionate? If you can't bring that to the table, you don't have to worry about the rest. you get your get out of jail free.
Yeah. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole,
you don't have to worry about the other four. The second one is learn constantly. We don't need ego-driven people who think they're uber smart. You got to be in a pathway to say, I'm constantly a student, even while I'm a teacher. I'm constantly a student, even when I'm a teacher. And you don't know where you're going to get your lessons. I learn at any level. The third is we exceed our expectations. Do what you need to do when nobody's looking for you or at you or with you. What do you do behind the scenes? If the cameras were off, what are you doing? My favorite one, always simplify. I cannot tell you how many times I get on a team meeting. I'm like, this is too complicated for my head.
Yeah. Why are we doing all this?
Why are we doing all this?
Creating more work for ourselves.
Please simplify. And then the last one is always notice the details. Because when people are going to let you go, it's never the big reason. It's the small reason. Think about employees. You forgot to check in with me. You forgot to text me. You've got to say I was okay. My son was at the hospital. You didn't even bother to see how I was doing. It's the noticing the details. And then on the cleaning side, it's not like, oh, we missed the bedroom. It was like, oh, there was a little dust.
You missed behind the toilet.
Yeah, right.
How did you miss that?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So 100% with you. Totally agree. And I think that it is a pathway to happier employees and also happier CEOs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If the drama is gone, right? Like if you can get the drama out of the business and you are, and this was a Matt Clarkism that he dropped on me one year.
Oh, Matt, we love you, Matt.
I used to say we are the family, right? We're the Blue Skies family. We're the business family. And he looked at me one day when I told him that, and he's like, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Like, you want a family? Don't you already have one? Like, you can't fire them. You got that crazy uncle, like
that's Matt.
Why would you want to have another family? Like, a family is like you treat a lot of times that's the people that treat you the worst, right? Like, and I'm not dogging families. I have a great family. I love my family, but it's very true. Like, that doesn't mean they should all work for me. Like, you can do better than that with a business. And he said, you don't want a family, you want a high performing team. Now we're talking about NASCAR, Matt Clark.
Yeah, of course.
Like a high performing team, but he's like, you set the wrong expectation when you tell them they're a family, because then they don't believe they can get fired. And it's healthy for them to know that they can get fired and that they expect of you to fire people that need to get fired. Like, a high performing team is always trying to get better and always trying to be the best thing that it can be. That's more powerful than a family.
100%.
That's
Now
badass.
I want to drop some quotes. So should I give you the first two that I gave so the audience remembers them? Do you remember
Yeah.
those ones?
Yeah. Drop them. Drop them.
But I don't know how it won't let me go on the chat.
I'm posting them, and it's going to the YouTube
Oh, well, okay.
channel and the Facebook.
I'm gonna put it into your private, and then you could bring it in there. So this was our first one that really resonates for me. Every company has a frequency. Make sure yours can be felt from the driveway. Love that one.
Yeah.
That one really hits home. And then the second one that hit home, and this is true. And the reason I think this is so true to me is because I talk about this when I'm speaking on stage. People say, you know, how long does it take for someone to know whether they want you to continue speaking? And I say 7 to 10 seconds. 7 to 10 seconds. Yeah. That's why that first moment is so good. And you know, I'm now a stand-up comedian. So even worse, it's like, oh my God, boom. Do I get the first moment, you know, my face, my setup, you know, what am I going to talk about first? So that's the two quotes. The other one that came to me, and I want to sort of speak to you because it does align with what Coach Matt said. And he's one of my dearest. Coach Matt, if you're watching this, we love you. He's my ride or die like team member. This is a very powerful one. A team doesn't need more meetings. It needs better frequency.
Yeah, meetings can suck. As you get bigger, like meetings get so pointless. Pointless isn't the right word, but like you just trip over them.
Right. Yep. And so, and then just in terms of him like saying, why the family, why fire? I love this one. But this one, I want you to give me feedback. You can't scale chaos.
It's so true. And it's there's a saying that always like I disagree wholeheartedly with. It's just a thing that people say to like make themselves feel better, which is like you can outsell, you know, like other problems, right? You can hide problems with sales. Yeah. And I'm just like, why would you want more shit? Like I see that happen like as a nerdy bookkeeping guy. I'm assessing people's business models all the time. Yeah. It's what we do. We're financial analysis. And I will see people with really bad cost of goods sold. Like they're not producing efficiently. Their labor rates are bad. They're not finding ways to be productive. And then they come to me and they're like, I got to do more marketing increase.
More sales.
Yeah. I'm like, no, you need to figure out how to like do your work efficiently. Why would you want to go 100%. Get more shit? Like go figure out how to do it the right way. Right. And then get excited about doing more of it. Right now, you can't even do it the right way. So why would you want to do more of that?
And that's why, you know, Dan, as I think about it, and anybody who's coming or listening, like I'm very careful who I endorse because, you know, if I endorse someone, then it's my credibility on the line. I absolutely endorse you. And I know what you bring to the table. And why I endorse you so much, it's not just necessarily your expertise, but it's your willingness to go on that, you know, that plank and say, hey, dude, I disagree with you. I do not agree with you. And, you know, it's so much easier for people to just take someone's money and just keep walking. And I've seen bookkeepers who have done that. Let me be straight up. I've probably fired more bookkeepers or accountants you could imagine, because when I go, all right, let's do some analysis here, you know? And at some point they're like, oh boy. I go, well, why do I have to tell you? Isn't that what the bookkeeper's supposed to be telling you? Yeah. And I love where you come from. And sometimes you have to just have the hard medicine. Mm-hmm. And you're not doing it to be mean, but somebody's got to straighten them up because they've been told a story that's not true. Yeah.
And they're all like, I get it, but they're all trying to be $1 million business. Everybody's trying to be $1 million business. Okay. And there's a handful of people that get to $1 million and are like, hey, everybody, it's not sunshine and roses up here. Like,
well, let's get real fast. I've met a lot of $1 million businesses that are flat broke.
Oh, yeah.
And you and I both know this. $1 million business has nothing to do with being wealthy. It's what? It's the net profit. How many times have you seen a 1 million, 2 million, 5 million net margin? What? 3%?
Nothing.
5%? Or, we're $1 million business. I'm like, you paying yourself? Yeah, I'm paying myself like $30,000 a year. Well, is that reasonable for your $1 million business? Is that what you would you go into $1 million company and take a $30,000 salary? Now, I'm not in disrespecting 30,000. For some people, that's, it's all relative, but not at $1 million.
Especially not if it's not intentional. I think there's a
If
difference.
it's not intentional. Exactly.
Right? There's a difference between, hey, I'm at $1 million and I want to aggressively get to 2 million. And I understand that this year I'm going to eat ramen and I'm like loading up on assets and I'm going hard at the recruiting and I'm going hard at the marketing and I'm going to train a bunch of people. I frankly, like I did that in Best Damn Bookkeeping for the first year. I said, my intent is to make $0 because for us to train the caliber of people that we need and how long I need to like get the runway to get them full speed and give them a full book of business. I also had the luxury of getting bought out of my last business. So I did have some financial runway, but I was like adamant and mostly it was to help my team understand how much I was, and I share my entire P&L with our team of the mindset
I do the same.
Cause I'm like, man, if I'm a football dude. So it's like, if I'm the football coach, I'm never going to ask you to play a game and not show you the scoreboard. Like you need 100%. To be as in this, like working on our score as I am. Like, this is our score. Right. This is how we know if we're doing good. But there's going to be times where we intentionally invest like crazy. And my team needs to know when and why we're doing it. And my wife needs to know when and why we're doing it. Like those are the two stakeholders that need to be very on board with Dan's crazy ass plans.
We love your wife.
She the best episode on this program, my wife was on like a month ago.
I saw her.
It made it really clear, like nobody's here for me. They all want Marty. Like I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. I fully agree with their interpretation or my interpretation of their clicks and likes and shares. But I think like it's okay to have $1 million business that makes $0 if you're doing it intentionally because you're like, I've got something here and I know it takes money to make money.
Back into your business if you're growing, of course, 100%.
But that's rare that I see that. Most of the time what I see is somebody gets there and goes, oh shit, this isn't what I thought. Like I was a dude that had a lawnmower and a trailer and I just kept doing more and more and more. And now here I am and I'm doing a lot of it, but I don't really know what's happening. And now I have these roles and I don't really know how to lead them. And I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's part of the journey. And like, it's okay. You're not a failure if you're there and in that spot and you're like, oh man, these guys are talking about me. Like that's part of the journey. That's part of the fun of being a business owner is you got to choose your set of problems.
100%. I love that.
Now you get to solve them. That's fun. Like go solve
it. So much fun. And then, so is Skip work with you? Cause he's like, we have so many clients making more money at less than one than those with. Okay. Gotcha.
Skip runs our business is truly what it is. I come on shows and talk a lot and Skip makes sure that we do a really damn good job. And he's a damn good job of that. So.
Well, Skip, I would say, one of my favorite customers, I've worked with him for years. I'll tell you why I love this man. Number one, his company's doing about 600,000. However, he takes a salary. First of all, his gross profit is amazing. It's like 65%. He takes a salary of $100K a year. And his net profit vacillates between 20 to 25%. And then every year during the downtime, because of his seasonality, he takes 3 months and he goes with his son somewhere, whether it's skiing, whether it's snowboarding. And that is the epitome in my world of what wealth looks like. There's a difference between being rich and being wealthy. And a lot of times when you want to be rich, you are the chains of your own prison. And wealth is you don't have to meet someone else's criteria, but you are doing like I just love him. I love this guy to death because he to me, that's the epitome of wealth.
Yeah. You and I talked a little bit about this earlier, and I didn't drop this on you then, just in spirit of time, but I'm going to drop it on you now. You know how when you like get on stage, you have various forms of presentations and you keep tweaking them, like, but after maybe a year of using something and you've given it a few times, you're like, I need some new material, right? Yeah. So I was kind of feeling like that. I was like, I've got different financial things I do and different recruiting things I do. And there's different angles that I take at that. But I was like, I need some new material. And this is going to be a transition into a topic that you and I had discussed earlier we want to talk about, which is like business transitions. And I went through a massive one about exactly 2 years ago. And it really made me reflect on what the hell am I doing here? Like like I had to reckon with that and like, what's the point of this business and where do I want it to go?
Mm-hmm.
And so my new, like, if I'm coming to your trade show and you want me to speak, there's a really good chance this is going to be my talk, which is all around goal setting. And I don't mean like revenue goals and profit goals. And this is one of my bullet points is like, those are results. Those are not goals. Goals create those results. And so I get into all that, but I also talk about these like misnomers and back to like, like not agreeing with what everybody says. One of the disagreeable things that I hear a lot of people say, and I don't know that they mean it this way, but I see it get construed this way, is the old, like, your net worth is your network, or your network is your net worth.
True. That's true.
And I'm like, that's not wrong. But what it implies is that if you hang out with people that make a lot of money, that makes you make a lot of money. And I don't know. I've hung out with some people that made a lot of money and they were just pieces of shit.
Oh,
and it's
like, amen.
And so what am I really getting here? Like, okay, so I can now be a piece of shit and make more money.
Whoever said that to you is probably speaking for me. Like, if you hang out with drunks, you'll be a drunk, because I'm a recovering alcoholic. That's why I don't hang out with too many drunks. But it doesn't always apply.
That's true. That's true. That's why I drink shitty light beer instead of like heavy stuff. I just stick with the shitty light beer.
You know, but in all seriousness, and by the way, I've in the last 2 months, I've lost 20 pounds. And people are like, how did you lose it? I go, you know what I did? I took all the white stuff out of my life. No sugar, no bread, no cereal, no cocaine, nothing. It's all white shit is out.
All the white shit. It's got to be brown sugar, brown cocaine from now on.
So let me ask you first question in true vulnerability. Does your audience know that you went through a difficult transition, or are you telling them this for the first time?
I've talked about it here and there. I haven't gone into like deep depths about it. But like when it's impacting certain things and like topics, I haven't like shied away from it.
Sure.
But I think there's an underlying thing that I have seen in my transition from the corporate world to small business, and then from being in a partnership with other small business owners, and then deciding to do this thing on my own. And I always kind of go back to this, which is I don't regret it. Maybe I'll never do it again, but damn, I learned so much that makes me so valuable in the new thing that I'm working on, that it's not regrettable, right? It's just it's like the real world MBA sort of thing. Like, I learned so much through that process, and I learned it for myself. Even better, I learned it for everybody else. You and I were talking about earlier, like, you know, just different business situations. And I was saying, I have a bookkeeping client right now who has a partner. He's 49, they're 51. And he's like, I need to exit this person, but like, I can't exit them without them agreeing to it. Right. And so like, how do I navigate this? And they've kind of got the cards, and how do I play this? And what are my options? And I'm like, man, 3 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to talk about this the way I can after 2 years ago, when I tried to buy my partners out and it went very different than I thought it would. And Dan had to like start over altogether, and it was miserable. Like, don't get me wrong. It was the worst professional experience I've ever had. Like,
okay. And that's what I wanted you to speak to, because it sounded for a moment like a very colorful Disney experience. And I was like, when are you going to get raw? Like, I sleep really well. Like, I would say, is as good as I am at drinking shitty light beers, I'm even better at sleeping. Like, I have a system to go to bed, and I function really well on 6 hours of sleep, because I crush sleep. Like, I am damn good at sleeping. Were you at the same level though during the heighten of the stress that you were facing?
Those 3 months, I could not sleep. My brain, I couldn't find a way to turn my brain off. Okay. And in a funny way, it's like I like didn't have a lot to do for the existing business, because I couldn't really do a whole lot, because I was trying to like let the team take stuff over. But I also, like, as a fiduciary, I couldn't start a new business and compete with myself. And so I had to wait to be able to do that. And I do very poorly when I don't have something to work really hard on. And it was miserable. Like I felt like I didn't have a passionate thing to work on. It in a silver lining sort of situation. I mean, it was the summer and my kids were in different
exactly
things. So I got a lot of family time in. And so like that was awesome. But I was professionally miserable and I like couldn't sleep. My brain wouldn't turn off. Like I just kept doing all the scenarios and like it was as they say, like breaking up a partnership is like a divorce. I've never been through a divorce. I hope I never go through a divorce. But if it's like that, holy shit, I really hope I never go through one. It was awful. It was miserable. And we still talk to each other. So I think we came out okay. Like it could have went way worse. Right. But God,
so you're talking to the ex-in-laws. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Like we're still in communication and we still actually are like, we sold some entities. And so we're still getting checks from that and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like, it's not friendly, but it sure as hell ain't the way that it was either. Right. It's like, you're never going back. And I'm not saying I would undo anything. I think it all happened the right way for a reason. And I'm so much better off, like hilariously better off.
Did you feel better? I mean, did you feel you were better off during the hardest moments for the audience? Because people who are listening to this, there may be people going through it right now. And they're going to be like, Dan, dude, I'm in the midst of it. What do you say?
I think I blacked it out.
God.
It was so.
That's
it
why
was
you drink
so
light beer, light drinks. Okay.
Yeah, it was so miserable. Just like the how's it gonna end, right? The uncertainty of like not knowing what I was gonna be working on. I did the benefit of like I've grown this business once before.
Right. You can do it again.
That just went weird. I'm back. Are you back?
I see you. I've been here. I've been here the whole time.
You know how when you like build a spreadsheet or you're working on a presentation and then your computer goes to shit, like mine just tried to, and then you like lose it and you have to rebuild it. And like at first you're like, oh no, like I worked so hard at that and I had it just the way I wanted it. Now I got to rebuild the thing. And then the second time you build it, you're like, man, I'm glad I rebuilt that. This way is so much better. Like I figured this thing out and this thing out. Now it's so much better. Like I kind of knew that would be the case. I didn't realize how much better it was going to be and how fast we would be able to do the same. I mean, we're like,
how long did it take you from that transition, from the moment of stress to the moment of, hey, I'm in the right direction. The universe has opened it up.
I honestly think it was before the end date because I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. And also again, like, because it's my second time building this business, I was so like I knew what order I was going to do stuff in, and it like, and I had all the time to reckon with it, right? Like I had 3 months of dealing with lawyers to like, my hands were tied. So my brain was just working on what I was going to do different and better. And so like the processes were already getting built in my head. And so like initially, like the first couple months of the turmoil sucked, but really like the last month. So like it really started Memorial weekend of 2023. And then by Labor Day, I was out. So it was like basically it ended up being like 4 months. It was kind of like happening through May. Memorial weekend was when it was like the thing went in the ground and like this is happening. And by September, I'll say like by August, like June and July were absolutely miserable because of the uncertainty and like the trying to figure stuff out. And then it was just like crossing the T's and dotting the I's and the legal bullshit. I hate legal stuff.
I get it.
It's gross for me. It's just not my fave. And especially when I'm like, I just want to go help people. And all that's happening is I'm being stopped from helping a bunch of people because other people want their money. Right. And I don't care about like, I don't care about money.
Love that.
It's just not important to me. And so it was the right move. And like the farther we got through that process, the more conviction I had, because it's like our core values are not aligned. And it's okay. Like you guys are investors and I'm the operator and I get your investors. And so you're trying to get a return. And so it's about the money, but it's not about the money to me. Like and that's a result. The money is a result to me, but it's not a goal. It's not a thing I'm striving for. I just want to do a really kick-ass job. I know what the business model should be. Like the math isn't the hard part. That's the normal part for me. I'm a finance nerd. It's just making sure we do things the right way, help people the right way, like execute and do what we said we were going to do, and the money will come. That's just a result. That's just like the scoreboard. But we got it.
That's actually a universal law that you just said. When you said do that and the money will come, that supersedes logic, because someone would be like, well, how do you know? How do you know? But that's it. That's your moment in your brain where you go from coincidence, like, oh, maybe the money will come and maybe it won't. You went from coincidence to confirmation. You confirmed it. You just confirmed it. You made that so absolute. And the one thing is, and this is neuroscience stuff, but what your mind believes and what you believe is exactly the same. Meaning, if you believe you won't be successful, that's what you're registering. Those are your radio signals. Oh, hey, I'm going to be successful.
It is your truth.
Yeah. It is your truth. It is your truth. And that's why I say that the truth actually lies in our imagination. Because the brain can actually the brain can't actually tell the difference. If we put you under and did testing and you had some, and we tested into the imagination and you believed it in here, that's what is believed.
Yeah, that is the truth. Well,
that is the truth.
We see it in people's political arguments on social media all the time. It's people are so nuts, and it's just it's because they've bitten off what they believe to be the truth, and they'll die on that hill. And anybody that believes anything otherwise must be the devil. They can only possibly be wrong. And meanwhile, those other people are like, how are people so stupid? I can't believe that they think that they're wrong and they don't even know it. And it's like, you guys are all wrong. I don't know what to tell you. You're only just believing what Fox News told you or what CNN told you, but it is your truth now.
And I want to call out Alvin because, I know we're getting raw and everybody wants to be on social media showing their perfect life, but there's nobody who has a perfect life. Our life is built in imperfect. Our life is built on, sometimes stages and levels of wounds, right? It's like a child carrying trauma. And look what Alvin wrote. He wrote, I feel like I'm on that position Dan is speaking of. And I feel like I'm near the breakthrough. Alvin, yes. Yes. And you know what? The Alvins of the world are listening right now. And if they're not listening, they're going to listen, because I think we're going into an area that people are embarrassed or don't want to talk about. And yet, one of the things I do, and I don't think it's the right thing to do necessarily, but I analyze and overanalyze, and then I try to understand. And again, it may not be for me to understand. Sometimes the universe rips you out of a situation on purpose. Even if you're dragging your feet, drag. Dan's like, no, because you need to be somewhere else. And you need to be somewhere else. And I do want to, and I'll share a little bit on my end, but I want to talk about, we can call it, breakup, or we could call it divorce, but I'm going to say something that most people hate to say, but the word fired. Okay. And I'll tell you why this came up, Dan, because I was thinking about our conversation, an epiphany happened. We never want to say fired, because fired is what? Fired is a rejection. Fired is we failed. Fire is someone else made a decision on us, right? That's what fired is, right? Yet, if you look at some of the icons of the world, Steve Jobs got fired from Apple because he didn't agree with the board.
Yeah.
Disney got fired because they felt he didn't have creativity, right? Oprah got fired. She just wasn't a fit, right? And I think about those people. I'm like, what? So here was my epiphany. This was my epiphany today. We talk about fired, but then when we say we're fired up, it's a different frequency.
Oh, it's the opposite. It's
I know. Again, that's what hit me.
Yeah.
That's what hit me. It's like, wait a minute. Because when I'm fired, it's an external decision that maybe someone made on me. But when I'm fired up, that's an internal decision that I made about my clarity, my world, right? Being fired, you're removed from a situation. Being fired up, you're propelled into your purpose.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So I just wanted to say it for you in the audience. I literally just thought about this today, and I'm like, wait a minute. Why are we so excited about fired up, right? When it's a complete opposite, but it just makes so much sense for me.
Mm-hmm. And it's the glass half full version of it, right? It's like it finishes with up. And that's
finishes with up.
When you just say fired, like it's implied that there's a down at the end of it. Like like it's a right?
Right.
And fired up is like, oh, now I get to go. Like now I'm free. Now I'm taking the reins.
Yes.
No, I think that's so powerful too, because it was so. I mean, we're all on this like spectrum of certainty of like how positive we are and where we're going and what like next step we're taking in our journey, and to exactly what Alvin said. And this ties back into what you said about like you kind of manifest it, which is if Alvin feels like he is near a breakthrough, therefore he is near a breakthrough, right? Like
exactly.
If you're there and you're feeling it, you automatically will end up doing what it takes to make the breakthrough because you've put yourself in that position. I'm a total redneck, right? I was listening to a hunting podcast and they were talking about the rut, which is when bucks are chasing does and trying to breed, and is like a hunter, that's a great time to be out there because you get more movement. And it's a biological thing. Like there's good science, but people start going into moon phases and they start going into all these things that like they will get confirmation bias, right? There's enough chances that things will happen that align with the beliefs that are in their head that it becomes their truth.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if that belief is the thing that gets you out hunting and keeps you out hunting all day, there's a really good chance that you kill a big buck. And you might give association to it, to a thing that isn't actually biologically true, but in your mind it confirms and it gives you the confidence to go hunt hard. And really the correlation is if you hunt your ass off, you'll probably kill a big buck. Like you will have the success.
That's right.
And so whatever it is that is the thing that convinces you, like, I got to go out there and I got to hunt hard because of X, Y, or Z, even if it's not actually true, you make it be true because you're so convicted to go do the hard work. And so back to Alvin's thing, like
Alvin, we love you, Alvin.
If you feel like you're near a breakthrough, you are, because you are mentally ready to do the hard work to get to that breakthrough. Like you will make it be so, even if the thing you thought is not even like technically correct, there's a reason the placebo effect is true. Like
100%.
We believe what we need to believe to get through the thing that we need to get through. It doesn't need to be right. It just needs to motivate us to go work our asses off to go achieve the thing we want to achieve. You'll get it.
And you don't have to do it alone. So one of the lessons I've learned is there are people out there who absolutely adore you and all they want to do is help you. And if you keep saying, well, I'm doing it alone, that actually doesn't serve the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It doesn't serve the relationship if you're listening to this podcast and you're like, I give. Well, then it's an imbalance in the world. Because if you're always giving, you're A, going to run out of fuel. And B, you may run into situations where people are just going to keep taking.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The takers of the world. And I always say, don't be mad at the takers. That's their job.
Yeah. You enable them
to take.
Yeah.
They've been hired to take. But if you can find someone and say, you know what? Hey, I need support. Hey, I have something I'm going through. Hey, what's your perspective? Actually, the person you're going to would love to help you.
You want a funny story?
Yes.
It's a hunting one.
You and the hunting. Now, let me just tell the audience before you tell it. So I want to disclose. I have been a vegetarian for 30 years. So I feel like Dan constantly reminds me of the hunting. So go ahead.
I'm all about protein. And if the grocery store was the only place I could buy meat, I would probably be a vegetarian too. Like I just prefer
no, I'm just kidding.
I prefer to grow my own vegetables. I prefer to go get my own red meat.
I love it.
I was on a public land hunting trip with Cole Sycophus.
Cole Sycophus.
Cole Sycophus, coolest last name in the world.
I love that name. I want to say it again.
And I shot a nice buck like the first day, and Cole helped me track it, and it died in a river, and it's in the rain, and we're just two rough and tough dudes out there being men, dragging a big buck out of the woods.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, let me help you with it. And it was in velvet. In like Kentucky, you can hunt early season. There's an early velvet season, and it was in velvet. And I was like, this is my like I was getting over a hump of some bad hunts and some bad stretches with bad decisions and bad timing, bad luck, or whatever you want to call it.
Bad, yeah.
And I was like, Cole, I think I just need, like, in the rain, in the dark, I appreciate you being here, but like, I think I need the pain and suffering of like just dragging this thing out by myself. If you'll like hang with me,
Wow.
Like I crave the journey of this, and I like appreciate I appreciate you being here with me and like helping me find it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna kick my own ass dragging this 200-pound deer back to the truck. Like, we'll just need to take some breaks. And he offered to help a couple times, and I was like, I kind of just, there's just something about I just kind of want to do this thing but like hang out with me, and Cole and I have hunted together a lot since then. And part of me is like, I should have let him help. It was to exactly what you said. Like, it was more about the friendship and the relationship and whatever.
Right.
And now fast forward like 3-4 years, we've been on quite a few hunting and fishing trips together. We were just in Illinois together last week. I shot a buck, but I knew it wasn't going to die right away. And I didn't, it was in a spot that we didn't want people to like see us in. We call it the sneaky spot.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to give it away. And I would have had to wait until dark and go in with flashlights to go track it. And I was like, I don't want people to like see us in here with flashlights. They're going to know my hunting spot. So I'm waiting and it's cold enough out, like the meat's not going to spoil. So I'm like, we're going to wait till tomorrow to go in. Meanwhile, that evening, Cole shot a nice buck. So I was a free agent. Like, I was done hunting. I knew my deer was going to expire, but I didn't want to go. When you have a wounded deer, you don't want to go after it and bump it, because then it's going to run a long ways away. And who knows if you find it. Like, the strategy is to let it lay down and expire. Cole saw his pass away. We went and got his out, and that was a hell of a drag with like, it was a big deer. So two guys, like, we got plenty of workout in. He let me help. Nice. And in turn, that also meant that he was done hunting. So the next morning, he and I went in together, and my deer died in this like hellhole of a ravine, like way down at the bottom. And we kind of knew it was going to do that based on where it was that I shot.
Right.
And I had never packed out a deer, meaning like you butcher it in the woods, put it in your backpack, and like carry out 100 pounds. And I need you, man. Like, I don't know how to do this. You do. Like, you gotta. I froze up there.
It's okay, Dan. I can hear you.
Cole, I need you, man. Like, you gotta teach me how to do this, despite me like not letting you help me in Kentucky. I gotta double down right now. I'm calling in all the favors. Like, I need you to come with me. I need you to help me. Like, I have no problem butchering it, but I don't know. I've never done this on the ground. I don't know exactly where to make the cuts and what to do with the hide.
Did he help you?
Oh yeah. He was like calling the shots, and I was like, you're in charge here. Like, I'll do the work, but I like need you to like coach me through where we start and where we finish and which direction we're moving on this thing. So 2 hours later, two badass dudes hauling a big buck out on their backs. And so he carried half the weight and I carried half the weight, but it came full circle, because you're right. Like Cole and I don't live anywhere near each other. Like, he's in Ohio and I'm in Minnesota. But if there's a hunting trip and we're in, like, it's unspoken. Like, we have each other's backs no matter what's going on. Like, oh, you got one? Oh, do I need to get a plane ticket and come and help you? Like, where are we going? What are we doing? How do I help? And you get the right people.
And good on you for coming to the understanding that it's okay to ask for help, and and actually people want to help you.
Yeah. Back to the network is your net worth. Net worth measured in how good people are at supporting you in the things that you love to do, not in how much money they have. I don't think Cole or I are like rich by any means, but like that is,
I don't think you're rich anyway. I think you're wealthy.
That is a dude where like, that's the person I want to surround myself with, because that is a wealthy human. Like, they have good judgment. They surround them. They treat people the right way. They bring the right energy. I don't care how much money the dude has. I care the way he treats people and the way he treats his fiance and the way he treats his friends. Like, he's the best dude there is. So that's the network.
I love that. And I always make it simple. People say, who should I surround myself? I go, it's really simple. When you're in their presence, Do they bring you energy, or do they suck the life out of you?
Yeah. Yeah. Are you looking for an excuse to leave? Or like, I can't wait till this is over. Or you're like, I can't wait till the next time we get to do this again.
And speaking on our topic, I was just thinking, I have not been let go or fired, I mean, it's not a common thing, but when I was 14, I was fired. And I have to tell you right now, I am so blessed, because if I wasn't fired, I would still be at Burger King.
You'd still be working there.
I would still be Burger King. And listen, I don't want to say I did any criminal activity. I think it was
the Burger Queen. You'd be the Burger Queen.
I would be the Burger Queen. And I honestly think to this day, I was just doing product evaluation, and I was let go because in my product evaluation, I was responsible for putting together the bacon cheeseburger deluxe. Mm-hmm. And as product evaluation, I would make the crispy bacon, but to confirm, I would take 2 and I would put 2.
You got to know. Yeah, you got to sample your product before you give it to somebody else. Yeah,
exactly. So I learned that lesson, and and then the second part, I would say it's not a typical fire, but like I did go through unfortunately a divorce, and I wouldn't say I fired him or he fired me, but it felt like a firing. Yeah. It felt like a firing. And then when you talk about rebuilding your life, man, I mean, I've lost everything in my life 3 times. 3 times.
How, 3?
3 times.
How 3? Do you want to get into 3? Is this?
I mean, it's hard stuff, and I don't want to get into too much. But the first time was, I wear capes because of, I grew up in a very abusive home, and I escaped at 18, and I was in hiding for 5 years. I lost everything, and I had to. I had to really learn, what does it mean to start over and have nothing? And so that was very hard. And when we talk nothing, we're talking, there was a lot of challenges with that. The second time was I was married, and in order to sever or end, or that relationship didn't work, I had to file bankruptcy. And it wasn't because I wasn't prudent monetarily. 6 months prior to the relationship dissolving, this is the part where I always do the right thing. I took every bill and every invoice and every debt they had, and I put it in my name. And the attorney said, listen, I'll give you 2 options. Option 1, you get to spend the rest of your life paying off someone else's debt. Or option 2, you get to wipe the slate clean, and it'll take you 7 to 10 years to rebuild your life again. And the third one just happened 2 years ago. So, and again, it's, but I don't carry bitterness, because if I carry bitterness, and then what has happened to me then stays with me in the present.
Yeah.
In the present. Right. So what I've learned to do is say, listen, okay, I've accepted it. What can I learn from it? And then how do I stay in gratitude and not continue, not bring that into my psyche?
Yeah. There's a very high correlation I have found. And I think this takes the right sort of human. And I think You're the right sort of human. There's a reason why you're as successful as you are, which is, and this is like a thing I'm jealous about. This sounds hilarious because I'm like, okay, give me some of that pain and suffering. Let me drag that deer by myself.
No, you don't want it.
I think part of, you can't manufacture, you can't fake that stuff. You can't manufacture that stuff. You wouldn't wish it upon anybody.
No.
But there's a thread of me that's jealous of when other people have been through some really hard shit, because you can't fake that type of resiliency and grit. Yeah. There's only one way to get it, and it makes you such a badass son of a bitch when something bad happens. Right. Your ability to go past it, because you're like, this ain't nothing, right? Like there's a skill set that comes of it that you can't get anywhere else. And some of the most successful, and I measure success differently than a lot of people, because again, a lot of people just look at it as money, but success to me is people like pursuing their dreams, enjoying every single day, and like getting the most out of it, and like living with a purpose and having a blast doing it. It has nothing to do with money. Again, money's a result, because if you're doing a lot of those things, it tends to lead to money. But like, that's what success looks like to me. And that's what I look for in other people. that's my net worth that I'm trying to network with. But when I see people that like get those experiences and get that resiliency, they're so successful in that regard because they just don't get fazed by stuff that other people worry about and whine about. It's like they don't sweat the small stuff. Half the time they don't sweat the big stuff. They're just like, whatever, like this is nothing. Like this is just another problem we get to solve. We don't need to worry about this. We just get to go do fun stuff.
I think I absolutely agree. I would say that if you look at the spectrum of human emotion, there are some that is very an elementary emotion. I don't take this in a disrespectful way, but to say, you know, okay, I felt disappointment. Okay, we all felt it. Okay, I felt phases of depression. I'm not talking medical, but just like in the moment.
Yeah.
But as you continue your pathway, whether you believe in faith or spirituality or just, you know, evolving as a human, there are certain emotions or certain situations that become very, very hard. And I happen to learn everything in threes. I don't know why, but it just happens. The highest, most difficult situation that I have to, or I have endured, and I don't know if this resonates to Alvin or Skip or anybody listening, is the lesson of betrayal. Because when someone is betrayed, there's a couple of things that have to happen. First, there has to be complete trust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like total trust.
Total trust. It has to be someone close to you. And they're stabbing you from the front, not from the back.
Interesting. I've never thought about it. But that's a vivid picture.
Yes.
Is it better that it's from the front, or is it worse that it's from the front? Like, would it be better if you didn't see it? Yeah.
It's better if you don't see it.
Yeah. I think the hardest part to reckon with for that is the why.
Can't do that. There's no logic.
There's no logic, right? There's no explanation.
You cannot do that.
You won't get an explanation. There's
Nope.
you'll just stoop.
It's not. You will logic yourself out of the logic. It's actually, there's no logic. So one of the things you have to resolve is it's not logical, because to be logical, you would have to then make other things logical. You would have to say it's normal to betray. It's normal to hate. It's normal, you know, and we can go argue, you know, that the spectrums of emotions, but the typical person doesn't wake up in, you know, as a 1-year-old, as a 5-year-old, as a 10-year-old, say, hey, when I grow up, I just like to betray people. Like
I'm gonna really screw this person.
Like, oh, what do I want to be when they grow up? Right. It's just not logical, right? It's a spectrum of the emotional connection. And Alvin, I love that you said that, 100% true. You know, and it's and you'll know it when you've been in it. And I hope nobody's in it. But what I will tell you, it's the hardest, because what you then want to do is you want to shut the whole world away. Yeah. Right. Because when it's someone
it's hard to trust.
Well, think about it. Right. The 3 criteria are in play. So then you don't know when it's happening. Mm-hmm. You know, I'll give you a real example. In one of my first businesses, I created a beautiful daycare. I built the daycare because I wanted my children to be in daycares, and I also wanted to help other kids. I have 2 autistic kids. And so in one of my very first businesses, bought a beautiful home. We transformed it into gorgeous daycare. We had French immersion. We had kids, infants, we had toddlers. And one of the things I wanted to do to give back is I wanted to make sure that we contracted with the state so that we could help kids who are less fortunate have an opportunity to have a bilingual center, and everything was to a T. And then I hired my director, and I paid her a very good living wage, and I paid for her apartment. Because we were working for the state was always late for payroll, right? Typically, the state told us we're 90 days. Okay, that's what we know. Aging accounts receivable is 90 days. So it was 60, it was 90, it was 120. And probably by month 4, month 5, I was like, hey, we're running out of cash. And on a whim, Dan, my gut said, call the state and pretend you're the manager. And I called the state and I pretend I'm the manager. And I said, hey, I just want to know about these things. And the state said, well, what are you talking about? You've already cashed in the last 4 checks. When I finally realized I was close to $50,000 in embezzlement. Now, not only was that betrayal, but when I tried to call the police and the detective, what I learned was that she had figured out a loophole. And the loophole was because contractually, the state she signed the contract, she got to keep all the money legally. And we shut down the business. I sobbed for 6 months.
That's wild.
Because
she signed on behalf of the business?
That's right.
That's absurd.
Not absurd according to the state.
Wow. That's freaking wild.
And that's not even, and I didn't even add that because I have bigger betrayals than that. That was a mini betrayal.
Yeah, that's a cliff note. That's a small bullet point. That's an asterisk. Like
that's a mini betrayal.
Yeah, it's just
that's not. So if you can think about that, then you can know the magnitude of my other 2.
Yeah, it's. I think that the frustrating part is, and I think you and I are very much wired in this way, which is I'm very much a like trust until you show me that I can't trust you. I'm not a oh, you need to earn my trust. I ain't got time for that. Like I'm moving too fast. I'm building too many relationships. Yeah. Like I'm very much a like I'm gonna trust you until you give me a reason not to, because I'm gonna give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and I'm probably gonna give it for way too long, even if I shouldn't. Yeah. Because I'm holding out hope, because I'm optimistic that things that you're going to figure it out.
I want you to keep that, Dan. I want you to keep that. And for anyone listening, I am not holding any negativity here. I just want you to know I am fully exposing. I'm sharing vulnerability, but I'm not angry, because to be angry, that means that they own me then. Mm-hmm. They own me. And there's a point where someone says, okay, well, now that you've had that, you should stop trusting anyone. But then if I stop trusting anyone, then I cheat the system for people who are coming into my life that I can trust. And I could talk about, I trust you. I trust Matt Clark. I trust this woman called Iram. There's a lot of people I trust that are my ride or die. So why would I cheat them out?
Yeah. Yeah. You can't throw the good out with the bad. Right? Like the bad eventually reveals themselves, and you got to be like, well, you got me for.
You got me. Like, yeah. Yeah.
I'm not very religious. I'll say I'm spiritual.
Yeah.
And so maybe this is a cop out or a hypocrisy on my behalf, but I've always just kind of felt like if somebody screws me over, and I've been screwed over by employees, I've been screwed over by business partners, I've been screwed over, whatever.
And you're such a nice guy. It makes me angry, but go ahead.
I just don't. It's like I don't even care, and it's the weirdest thing. Like whether it's money, whether it's whatever they think they took from me, I'm like, I'm still winning, and you're still losing. Like, and maybe it's a mindset thing for me, but it's like, well, now I just feel sorry for you because you're a piece of shit, and like that sucks. And like I'm not super religious, but I'm like, I'm not the one here to worry about who's judging you. Like I ain't judging you. Like you're the one that's gonna have to deal with this when whatever reckoning happens for you. And like,
oh my God, you were cracking me up.
Like that sucks for you. And so like I don't know. I don't know if it's a defense mechanism I have, but it's almost like a sympathetic, like, oh, that sucks for you that you're a piece of shit. I'm gonna keep
so funny.
And then like I also to your point, like I have so many good relationships that when some turn bad, like the good ones pick you up. Right. And that's how you know who your ride or dies are, because like the good ones are always there for you to pick you up and like reinforce it, and it's your spouse and it's your best friends, and that's your network, that's your net worth.
And, and there's 2 things that are really important for me to share. My title is Small Business Superhero. If you have ever watched any superhero on any film, if you've ever read the comics, every superhero has gone through triumphs. Mm-hmm. That is how they became that. They weren't just given it. Think about the journeys that they had gone through. And you're like, sometimes people say to me, man, I want to be a superhero. I'm like, well, it's pretty easy. First, you have to have someone who's trying to kill you.
Yeah.
They're like, oh shit, I'm out.
Usually
I'm like,
multiple people trying to kill you. You got to at least have multiple people, at least 2 or more.
people. I said the second thing is you have to know what your power is. And the third is you have to spend the rest of your life using that power to serve other people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, that's the things in threes that I see in every hero conversation, every video, every podcast, that's what it is. So I want to share something really powerful on something you said, because it just happened 2 weeks ago. So have you ever played the game red light, green light, 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, I always lose. I'm impatient. I
tried to cheat. Must know this game.
Yeah, I tried to cheat.
Okay. So there's a purpose to this. Alvin, if you're still here, Skip, I want you to listen. Okay. Red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. It's a young kids thing. And basically it's taught that, you get to run, red, we stop, green, we go. And then when we're young, right, our parents are crossing the street with us. And what do they say? You know what? When it's red, you stop. When you're green, you go. That moment I want you to realize is embedded in you from such an early age. We're talking 4, 5, 6, and it takes you to where you are today. There is a point to this madness, because what that taught you as a young kid was the rules of our society. Mm-hmm. Hold that thought. And the rules of our society are designed to protect us. But what if they don't? What if they don't? And that's where logic intersects with illogical behavior that could save your life. Let me explain. 2 weeks ago, it was a Sunday night. It was evening. I'm in Portland. It's raining and it's dark. And I'm heading to my comedy show because, I'm a stand-up comedian. And I am I'm about half a block from the comedy. And the light is red. And I'm the first car. The light is red. The light turns green, Dan. Logically, society tells me I should go. Logically, I have the right of way. And logically, it's green. And everything in my body, Dan, said, don't go. Don't go. It was so significant that I literally was holding my hand to the steering wheel. And it was so evident that I began to count like a child. I counted 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. Between 3 Mississippi and just when I was about to say 4 Mississippi, I see a white van going at least 50 miles an hour who had just ran the red light. And I'm going to tell you that had I gone in those split seconds, we would not be talking today. We would not be talking today. And I was so shaken from that there was a couple of things that came out of that. And then I'd love to hear your feedback. Number one, you have to pay attention to your intuition. That is what you were born with. And sometimes it does not make sense because there's no logic to it. There was no logic to my decision, but I knew enough to say, don't go. Second, we talk about planning. You and I are in the planning phase. We're in the finance. We talk about planning. Let's plan for 30 days, 6 months, a year. And in life, our planning is sometimes 3 seconds. It's 3 seconds. 3 seconds to make a decision, which way to go. And the third thing is, we only have so many green lights left. So that moment was an epiphany for me to say to myself, okay, what am I not paying attention to? And then I realized, and then I'll pause. Am I in the right vehicle? Who do I want to be in the vehicle with? Am I going in the right direction? Right? And so much of that is just a metaphor to how we live our life. I'm going to pause.
To exactly that, and to draw it back to our conversation about how we convince ourselves what truth is. And we have this belief, and therefore, this is true. And we do it in so many situations. What I tend to find is, this is going to sound like I'm in the damn Matrix or something, but there is no truth. There is no right answer. Everything is on a spectrum of a probability. And just like you said, we've all gone through so many green lights in our life.
Yes.
But we've also probably all ran a red light by accident or blown a stop sign. And we've also either been hit or almost been hit by somebody that ran one. I oftentimes talk to my kids, and when they're in the car with me, I always point out bad drivers. And I'm like, there are rules to how you drive. And part of being a good driver is about like following those rules, because we're all trying to like navigate these circumstances together. And the more we all kind of are on the same page, it makes it easier to navigate together. But there's a lot of freaking idiots out there.
Yes.
And the number one
texting or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. The number one thing you need to be doing is watching out for all the other idiots. Like, it's fine if you're a good driver, but that doesn't protect you that much if you're inattentive to what's happening around you.
100%.
And if you're not following your intuition, like you can't just blindly trust that everybody's going to do what a normal person would do. I remember I almost rear-ended somebody one time. They were going to turn right on a red light. And I saw them going, and so I looked left because they were clearly going. I looked left, and the coast was clear, and I started to hit my gas pedal, and I turned back, and they had come to a complete stop. And I almost rear-ended them. Then I honked the horn at them because I was like, "You effing idiot, go!" Like you can turn on a red light. Yeah, but it's like, I mean, I had to be an inch away from hitting them. But it's like you can't you can't just assume that person's going to do the thing that you would have done or that a rational person would have done, because it's irrational. They probably got a text message and stopped the car to look at their phone or something stupid, right? Like you don't know. And so there is no right answer, especially in business. Like everybody's like, "Oh, here's what I do." And people try to act like they know. There's a billion ways to scale a business, right? There is no right answer. It's about to what Elvin said earlier. Like, it's about the conviction of feeling like you are on the path that's best for you and having 100%. The confidence to work your ass off at it, and you will make it be true. That doesn't 100%. Mean it's the right answer, because there is really no right answer. It's just like doing the best you can, working hard at it, and following your intuition. And I think like Jeff Bezos has said this about Amazon, which is they will like scrutinize a project until they're like 80% sure that it'll work. And then they just go, because the cost of trying to get to 99% sure is way too expensive. It's better to start some shit and kill it and be like, "Oh no, we screwed that up." And not even that you're going to give it up, but that you might try it differently. Like I have a maid service client that's a bookkeeping client of ours. He was a client of ours paying us to do bookkeeping for a year before he cleaned his first house. He was so afraid to get started.
Oh my God, I love this person.
The amount of money that boy spent to go get started.
Love that guy.
Just so afraid. Like he's starting to get going, but he dug himself a deep hole, right? Like financially, as a finance guy, now? He's still got a long ways to go, but he's cleaning some houses.
I love it.
But it's like,
good for him.
You don't need to be right. As our buddy Josh Latimer says, like imperfect action, right? You just need to start moving. People that are moving make things happen. You can be wrong in your movements and you're still like better off than sitting still. You just got to go, and it's okay.
Gotta go. And not overthink it. Would you have done what I did if you got the ping, or would you have like, "Fuck it, I'm just going to drive"?
I am super, super, super aware of everything around me, like to an annoy, like when I'm spatially.
But it was green.
Yes, I don't like. That's the signal for me to go, but I don't go without like checking my six.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like, you know how if you look right at something, like especially in dark or faded light. This is me as a hunter. Yeah. Sometimes when light's faded, you can't see what's right in front of you, but you can actually see a little bit better. It's something with the signs.
Yeah, peripheral. Yeah. Like your body can see it before you can see it. I get it. Yep.
Like the way your rods and cones are and whatever's going on in your eye. So like I'm looking this way, but I'm actually focused on what's over here a lot of times.
I get it. Makes sense.
Especially when I'm driving. I wasn't there, right? I can't say what I would have done, but I have had the same thing happen. And like intuition, but also just like I value an awareness. And I think it's, as an outdoorsman, like
Sure.
I'm watching every freaking squirrel. I'm listening. If I hear a blue jay start going, I actually have an app on my phone that tells me what bird is making the noise.
Wow.
And so I'm like, partially out of curiosity, like it's just cool. It's like I'm out there trying to kill deer, but I'm like a birder. I got my binoculars. I'm like, where's that bird? And just like being out with nature is so fun. But like I value.
Oh, Alvin says it's a sixth sense. He's right.
It's the sixth sense. But it is right. Like it's the
he's right.
Right. Like it's the reason why a blind person hears better. Right. They dial in their senses and pay attention to what that sense is. So I think it's a skill set to know how to like focus on certain things.
To tap into it.
Yeah. And so I've definitely been there where I've like paused and not been hit by somebody running a red light. It's weird. Like I've also been in the case where I put myself in a shitty situation because I wasn't paying attention to my surroundings and I reacted in a stupid way.
Exactly.
I did this on the radio show a couple weeks ago. We did like near misses and close calls because I had heard a story about like one of my buddies fell out of his tree stand in a thing that you do 1,000 times as a hunter. He like clipped his safety harness on, but instead of clipping it on the loop on his safety harness, he accidentally probably like clipped it on his jacket. And so when he leaned back,
whoop, no, did he get hurt?
Not a bit, but
thank God. Thank God.
The rest of us would have broken our spines. He happened to be a black belt in jiu-jitsu. And so he was actually like talking about it and laughing. He's like, I should be paralyzed at least, but I know from like, I've been trained to fall. And so, like, I couldn't like spin like a squirrel and land on my feet, but I know to curl my head. Like that's a falling technique. So you don't.
Yeah.
And when you're falling, you smack the mat. Like you throw your arms down because it takes away a ton of your falling momentum, like your falling speed.
Did he break his arms or his hands?
Not a bruise on him. Smacked the ground as he fell. Granted, there's leaves on the ground and stuff. It's not like rock hard dirt. I don't know exactly what he fell on, but he walked away without a bruise. And I mean, there's a skill set in falling. I always joke like in Minnesota, people fall on the ice all the time. Yeah. People that didn't grow up playing sports get hurt when they fall on the ice. People that grew up playing sports fall ungracefully, but they walk away just fine because you learn how to fall, right? You learn how to like move your body, like especially playing football.
That's such a great topic. Learn how to fall.
It's skill set. It's a skill set. I talked about it with my kids yesterday because they do like American Ninja Warrior, and I'm like, you guys, you don't appreciate it now, but the physical skills that you're learning how to use your body, you're gonna appreciate when you're 80 years old. Like, you're just gonna like your body.
You'll be 110.
I will be. I'll still be like, help me get up this tree, Danny. Get me up in here.
I love it.
But no, like the intuition thing is funny because like I've also made the wrong decisions here and there. I was saying we did an episode.
Did you know that was the wrong decision when you made it?
I should have. The time I was probably closest to death, where I was like, God, that was stupid. In high school, there's 3 dudes in my car, 2 or 3 dudes in a few other cars, and we were going to a girls' volleyball game. We love to go, like our football team, we'd all go up to the girls' volleyball game because we just love to be obnoxious fans and like mock the refs, and especially on road games. So we'd go and just be crazy ass girls' volleyball fans. Like they were our friends playing. And so it's 30 minutes away. We're driving up the highway, and Zach Swardini and Mikey Stieber, who are like Zach Swardini and Mikey Stieber in the car in front of me, threw a biggie cup, like a gas station, big ass soda. They threw it out the window at me. We're going 70 down the highway, and I'm in high school, right? I swerved to miss the cup.
Oh my God.
What an idiot, right? Like just hit the cup, but I swerved. And thank God I was a high school kid with a heavy car and bald tires, because I don't know if it was good that I had bald tires or bad if I had bald tires. The nice thing about having bald tires is when I started spinning down the highway, it was just smooth rubber. You know, there's no tread to cause me to start rolling.
Right.
And I counted the circles after the fact. We did a legit 1080. Like that rubber was on the highway there for a while. And I distinctly remember I had my buddy Ryan Drangler in the passenger seat, who went on to go to Harvard, doing like really, he's a super successful guy. I'm glad we didn't die. He's doing good stuff. Ricky Sandrini was in my backseat. I don't know what Ricky's up to. He's out there hustling somewhere. Ricky didn't have a seatbelt on. He's probably still doing this anyway.
Oh
he was sitting in the middle with his arms around each, like Ryan and I's seats. And these things happen in slow motion. You know, like when you're in the moment, time slows down because you're like, your life flashes before your eyes because you're like, I don't know what's going to happen. And so I just have this slow motion. Did you ever watch That 70s Show?
Yes.
Where the camera's in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
It was like, I felt like I was the camera. Like to an extent of like, I felt like I could even see me. Like I felt like I was in the middle of the car and I'm looking at Ryan and he's screaming. I mean, he's like, he's deathly afraid of what's happening. He's screaming at the top of his lungs, Dan, we're going to die. Oh my God. I mean, like he's losing his mind.
And then what happened?
Ricky is in the back seat going, woo! Like he's on a roller coaster ride. I'm sitting in the driver's seat looking at these two guys that couldn't be
opposite. Yeah.
And I'm just looking at them, and then like there might as well have been a green screen in the background because I just see the world going by the windows over and over again as we're spinning out, and we we should have been rolling down that highway, and who knows?
And you didn't.
We did. We didn't. And then we came to a halt in the gravel right where there was an off ramp going down to a river bottom. And so if we had gone another like 5 feet, we would have been going down that cliff.
Wow.
But we didn't. We stopped in the gravel. And then the nice man stopped and was like, hey, I saw what happened. Do I need to go get those guys? And I was like, no, don't worry about it. Like they're buddies of mine. Like I don't want to get them in trouble. And then so then I started driving. Because, of course, we still needed to get to that volleyball game.
Yeah.
And the rest of the way up there, my car was going da-dunk, 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 da-dunk. And I was like, I'm in high school. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to troubleshoot this stuff. But the car's still moving forward. So I just kept driving it, drove it all the way 30 minutes back home. And the next morning, my dad's like, what happened to your car that there's a chunk of tire missing? And I'm like,
I don't know.
Excuse me? And I'm like, oh, a deer ran out in front of us. And I like spun out on the highway. But we're okay. Like, obviously, we made it home. I didn't have a cell phone to call.
Right.
Back in the day. And so I had to tell a lie to protect Zach and Mikey from the wrath.
Does your dad know the truth now?
So in my family, this was a decision I made. I don't think my parents were for this, but my brother and I both used this to our advantage at different points in our high school / college careers, which is a 4-year statute of limitations, which is if we get away with something for 4 years, you can no longer punish us for it.
Wow.
This was a rule that we came up with.
Yeah.
And my parents were also crazy troublemakers when they were adolescents in high school. Like my dad wrote the book on shenanigans. So I think anytime he saw us get away with something, he was like, yeah, that's a pretty good one. Like that was his reaction. My mom, that was not her reaction. My dad was more like, yeah, it's pretty good. So anyway, like we were out to eat one time with Zach Swardini, and he and I started talking about it. And my mom goes, wait a second. You told me that was a deer. And I was like,
oh my God. That's funny.
It has been 4 years and 3 months, Mom. You can no longer punish me.
You can't call me out on it.
It has been, and there's another story with my brother at my grad party threw up on a rug in the bathroom. Like at my high school grad party, my older brother got drunk and threw up on the rug.
Right.
And the rug disappeared and there was some puke stains in that bathroom. And my mom blamed me forever. Right. Because it was my party. It was my friends. And I was like, how uncomfortable is it trying to interrogate your friends? Like, I'm trying to figure out who did this. And she's like, they owe me a rug. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm just going to buy her a rug. 4 years later, I'm at Kohl's with my older brother, Chris, and we're Christmas shopping. And he looks at me, he goes, suppose I owe Mom a new rug, huh? And I was like, it was like for 4 years. He kept it from me. None of us knew it was him. He kept it for 4 years. And I was like, you dog, you snuck it right past the 4-year statute of limitations.
Wow.
Hold fast.
I love that.
So what you're a free agent. You can like go do whatever you want. I want to talk about the stand-up comedy because
Yeah,
like
let's talk a little bit.
you got to keep doing that, but you can't leave us as the small biz
No,
superhero.
no, no, no,
We
no,
all
no,
still
no.
need you. We all still
No,
need
no,
you.
no, no. And I, yeah, like I'm still, the way I look at things is that, you know, there's so much that I love to do. So there's things that I'm not good at. I'm not going to become a chef. In case you were wondering, I'm not going to become a truck driver because I have night blindness. And I'm a terrible cleaner, even though I own a cleaning company. By the way, and I'm not even that good as an estimator because the last time I sent them to do an estimate, they did a house that looked like basically it was a pet zoo. And they're like, Coach Kedma, we actually, we don't take care of turtles that are running around the apartment. I'm like, oh, shoot, I didn't realize.
Out of bounds. This one's out of bounds.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask them if they had any turtles. That's not in the questionnaire.
But I'll tell you the things I am doing. And so December 5th, if you are out in Maryland, I'm doing a keynote, home service business keynote. I can, I'll definitely let people know.
What is that? What event is that?
It's actually with a good buddy of mine, Rob, and I'm actually doing their keynote. And I'll definitely send you the details. But it's really Rob and I are really big on education, but really like speaking through, what can we offer? And one of the things I always get excited about is sales, which is very different than marketing. It's so much built on real. I have a rule in business. I will outsource everything in my business. I mean, I'll outsource estimates. I'll outsource ops. I will outsource, well, I don't really outsource finance, but I outsource a lot, but I don't outsource relationships. I don't outsource relationships. And so much is tied into that. So I'll send you the detail. I don't know if there's a place to place it, but it's December 5th. And I'll definitely send you the details on that. I'll be December 1st, early December, I'll be in San Diego. So if anybody's in San Diego, let's connect. If anybody is in Maryland, let's connect. Maryland, Philadelphia area. So I'm flying into Philly and then it's around there.
Grab a sandwich quick, get into
grab
Philly.
A sandwich, coffee, tea. Yeah. The next thing I'm fired up on is I got to be straight up. I am an investor. I don't know if you knew that. I'm an accredited investor and I've invested in businesses, but traditional accredited investors, it feels like a layaway program. And I'll explain what it means. When I was a little girl, I would see this expensive dress and I didn't have enough money to buy it. So I would put money in the layaway program. Yeah. Well, the whole point of the layaway program is once you have enough money, you get the dress. Mm-hmm. Not true as an accredited investor.
You never get
as an accredited investor, you could put the expensive money in and you may never get the dress.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that. I have access to I could look at 20 to 50 deals a month because I'm a part of a large investment group. And here's what I learned. I want to be in the mud. I want to swim with those people. So, if we're giving the analogy of, business owners who come instead of like, hey, I need your help with my business. Let's put the analogy. Hey, I want you to teach me how to swim better. And so there's a lot of coaches out there. I don't consider myself a coach, even though I've done coaching, but they're like, oh, let me show you the podcast of what it's like to swim. Oh, let me show you the SOP of how to swim. Oh, let's go through the different steps of swimming. I will throw you in the deep end. Right now, I'll jump after you.
Yeah, I'm coming in too. Here we go.
So I like the idea of fractional COO. I like the idea of investing. I like the idea of being part of the mud. And I do think it's different than coaching. I really do. I feel like, is there a space? So that's my next thing I'm excited about. I love home service. And I like franchising because I know that there's a lot of franchisors, sorry to tell you this, that, you don't do exactly the thing that you say in the FTD and the way it needs to be done. And you have a lot of franchisees that are frustrated. So I think there's a place for that too. So yeah, I'm really just really open, to be honest. And I love speaking. Yeah.
There's so much, and we talked a little bit about this earlier. The home service industry especially has really leveled up over the last decade.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
It's gotten in a much healthier space. It still has a lot of work to do, but back to the $1 million businesses,
Yeah.
it's elevated people into a set of problems that they don't know how to solve, and that are
Yeah.
way trickier than solving, because when they started, it was operational problems and like managerial problems.
Yeah.
And now it has turned into leadership problems
Yeah.
and
100%.
organizational structure problems and
Right.
investment problems of how do I get this bigger
Yeah.
thing to grow and
Yeah.
get over the burden of like diminishing returns of marketing or diminishing returns of recruiting efforts or all
100%.
these different investments that I'm making. Like running a multi-million-dollar business or over $1 million business is such a different animal than running a few $100,000 business.
It is.
It like couldn't be more different. And but you go through and you grow this business, and all of a sudden you get to this point, and like the job you have as the business owner has changed substantially. And sometimes it's not the job you want. Like I think that's a thing for people to reckon with too. Is like,
right, they're stuck in it. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
like, oh shit, I really like running the day-to-day of an operating company. I don't like being a CEO.
Right.
Like I didn't
Right.
sign up for that, but now here I am, like the de facto CEO, and I don't like CEOing stuff. Like
Right.
I want to be the ops manager. Like that's what I
And
signed
then you're
up for.
strapped. You're strapped, and you're like, where do I go with that?
Mhm.
I don't know if you know this, but I want to share it. So when I was living in actually here, I was also in Arizona, but I'm in Oregon. I was part of a very small unit. I felt like we were like the CIA or something, but I was part of a very small unit from the state of Oregon that would pay for us to be deployed to companies that were in risk of going out of business. And we're talking large companies. So the state would pay for us to go there because they then ran, right, economic impact. They ran the risk of what? Losing jobs, losing service, right? Losing what we call industry clusters. This is my economic brain talking, right? Industry clusters are segments of industries that matter to a specific state. I'm going to tell you something that will probably shock you, Dan. When we were deployed, the majority of time, it was not something you would have imagined. A lot of times it was disgruntled employees that had filed with Department of Labor. And they, I would walk into a, very large business, well past $1 million. And the first thing I would be greeted with was either the board of directors or the C-suite, who would then proceed to tell me what they really thought. And what I would say is, look, I'm going to get to the bottom of this very quickly because I'm going to be interviewing the people who are at the lowest tier of your company.
I'm going to find out what's really going on here.
I'm going to find out what's really going on. And it doesn't take long. And I have a rule. I go, the size of who you are as a leader is defined by what people say about you when you're not in the room.
Hell yeah.
Right? And so that was the biggest reason why there was a lot of disconnect. So it was beyond leadership. It was a disproportion of grievances that raised up to, hey, this company is in jeopardy. And then the second one was operational, mismanagement, mismanagement of contracts, misappropriation of funding, misalignment of, hey, how come this person got this instead, and especially if we were looking at public contracts that were going into those big companies. So it was so embedded in, and it was, again, these are massive companies that you would think, how did you get yourself into this?
Yeah. How did you get here and you haven't figured this part out?
So the bigger you are does not mean that you figured it out. You have bigger problems. You got bigger problems. But you know me well enough, because we've worked together, so me, like I love finance. I wrote my book. I love business. I love helping. So like, I would just pull it out to you. Like what do you see, or where do you see? Like it's always fun to just reverse it.
No, I brought up the $1 million business, because like I have one of them.
Yeah,
like, here we
are.
In 2 years, we have 23 employees, and now like we're switching CRMs. Our processes are starting to break because we built them for a sub $1 million business.
Yep.
And a lot of my clients get stuck there. Like
Yes.
a lot of our bookkeeping clients get stuck in the low 1 millions, and they tread water there for a long time.
Wow.
It's like I call it the purgatories of scaling. There's known sticky spots. I see it in the $200,000 to $300,000 range when people are trying to get off the truck. I see it in
that's a lot of it. Yeah.
$500,000 to $700,000 range when people are trying to like get out of the like hire a production or an ops manager type of thing.
Yep.
And then they get stuck again in the right around $1 million or depends on but I'll say around there, because now it can't just be the business owner just like drumming up some growth. Like you actually have to have marketing and sales systems and process.
Have a team. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Like it's not enough to just like go hustle up some work. Like growth is way more intentional now. And it's not about managers, it's about leaders, and it can't just be you.
It just can't be you. Yeah. And I love that, because day one, I think within 90 days, I took myself out of the day-to-day for my own company. I am so blessed. I just want to call it out. Serena's our director of operations. We've got 3 people on the admin team who does ops, Sarah, and then we have Flora and Alex who do marketing. And then we have our technicians who are day-to-day just working their tails off. I am absolutely a representative of who they are. Like they are so amazing, and our culture is strong. But I learned very quickly that if I stayed in the minutia of the business, that is not a good place to be. So I think one of the things that I would invite, and Dan, I just love this conversation, is those businesses that are looking to you and trust you, is to say, where is your genius zone, CEO, CIO, COO? Where's your genius zone? Stay there. Stay there. Stop trying to solve everything, because what ends up happening is we're control freaks. And we want to control everything. And look, there are some business owners out there or business who have worked with other people, and they'll go, well, I've been told this before. Well, I don't trust anyone. Well, I think you also have to look at, there's different consultants, there's different coaches, there's different bookkeepers. Like I've personally consulted over 10,000 businesses. Mm-hmm. Like that's a hell of a lot of companies. That's a hell of a lot of companies. That's a hell of a lot of companies. And I've done it from, franchising and inventors and products and services and home service. And there's a theme that I've learned. The first theme is, as an operator, you can take the business so far, and then you got to be maybe at some point a semi-absentee. Mm-hmm. Right? Or at least divide and conquer. Otherwise, if you're doing everything, you're doing nothing.
You're doing a lot of shit at a shitty pace and a shitty
rate. You're multitasking, and we all know that doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So quick question, where do you think AI is going to go with the home service space?
I was going to ask you that question.
Well, I can share, but I'd like to hear from you.
I mean, in the home service space, I think it's a tool to use, 100%. Right? Like this is funny. I haven't really thought about it in a home service space, because I'm so worried about what it's going to do from a bookkeeping space of like, holy shit, how do I play with this thing? Like it's a tool to use, but it's both an opportunity and a real threat. We need to reckon with it. And I was going to bring this up, like you have experience in the virtual assistant space or the strategic partner space. And we have 12 people on our team that are like in that capacity. Love it. And I oftentimes, like, if there's a thing that keeps me up at night, which nothing does, because I'm just so damn good at sleeping. I don't know. I'm just good at it. But like, if there was a thing that was going to keep me up at night, it's how do we, like, we need to be using every ounce of technology. I heard it well put at one point in time, and I'm not an early adopter of technology. I'm like a good old boy. Like I'd rather hide in the woods from it. And truthfully, like this is a very high level view. I think it's bad for society. Like, I don't think it's a good thing for the human race. I don't think artificial intelligence is beneficial to us in the long run. But in the short run, like I have a business to run. I have mouths to feed. I have customers that need good results for a fair price. Mm-hmm. And that's the people.
So let me lean on a few things. This is really important. So let me first say, I do have experience in the virtual assistant space. So first I want to call out, it really doesn't matter to me which virtual company you work with. It really doesn't. And I don't own a virtual company, and I don't want a virtual company. So let's call that out. I could care less. I'm going to come from a different framework, and I want to hear you out. I want you to hear me out because I think it will make sense. I am a through and through integrator, and I'm expensive. And the problem is if I am truly an integrator and I'm expensive, I can only be in so many places, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So here's my response back to you with AI and with humans. What I've learned to do is work with companies and their operation or admin team, because it's more important for me to align and integrate with the admin team than it is to align with the business owner. Why? Because they don't have the time. They may not even have the skill set. And it may not be necessary if we're placing them at $1,000 an hour as a CEO or COO or CMO. It's better for me to work with the management, that the lower management, the middle management, or the people on the ground, and train them. Now, there's two ways I would say. One is now this is a statement, and we may disagree, but I'll explain. I think it's AI plus human, depending on how expensive your service is. United Way Airlines had the best sort of board as I was coming down, advertising board, as I was coming down the escalator, JFK, New York City, and this is what it said. It rung in my soul. It said, "Here at United Way, when you call, a human will answer." Boom. I thought, that's why I fly United Way. They know their audience. They understand their audience. And the more expensive your product is, the more people are going to want that personalization. Mm-hmm. I am not the cheapest. If you go to our cleaning, Superb Maids in Portland, we're not the cheapest. Why? We have license, we have bonding, we have insurance, we have employees just like you, right? We're not the cheapest. I'm going to tell you right now, our customers do not want an AI answering the phone. Mm-hmm. They won't have it because we're an expensive boutique program. But where do we support that? So I wish I could show you here, but I'm going to tell the audience you can go. I don't know if you can share. Are you allowed to share a screen?
Yeah. There's like a plus sign at the bottom, and you can figure out which.
Okay. Hold on. Share a screen. I'm hoping I can find it for you. How would I find? Okay, here it is. Okay, check this out. We're gonna have fun here. I got to show you this. Okay, can you see this?
So
can you see anything? Can you see my website?
Yep.
Okay, great. I want to show you something cool. Okay. Can you see this, Mrs. Tidy Talk? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So, Dan, what's do you have let's just play you 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom. Let's just play with it.
Hey, let's say we got 3 kids who tonight our cleaners come tomorrow.
Okay,
I had to get 3 kids to pick up my house because you got to clean before the cleaners come.
I have 3 kids under the age of
9. Well, under 9. The age of 10. We'll go 10. 10's a good round number.
Under the age of 10, and then I have what? You got a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, 7. What?
4 bedroom. Okay. Yeah, 4 bedroom.
2 house. Do you have a pet?
Well, technically, our youngest kid is our pet.
Okay.
My in-laws made it really clear they wouldn't watch a dog, so that was why we had a 3rd kid.
Okay, 4-bedroom, 2 bath. And what is the coolest thing you've hunted?
I mean, I love white-tailed deer. I'm going white-tailed
deer. And then anything else unusual or different or out there?
I don't know if it's unusual. The sheer amount of toys.
Okay.
The sheer amount of you can imagine. You can imagine.
Yep. So I'm going to say okay, you ready? Okay.
I saw a skunk when I was out this year, and I would have.
There's a few things. The reason I can't stand most of the AI or bots there is because when you go to the traditional ones, what do? They're constantly like, well, just leave your number. Well, just do your email. Well, it's just irritating.
Yeah.
I love this. So let's see what she says. It sounds like you have quite the lively household. We absolutely love pets here at Superb Maids. including your friendly deer and pet skunk. Just a quick request. Could you please make sure they are safely secured before our cleaning team arrives? And then I'll say, okay, I must confess, I did a hunting 2 days ago. I kind of missed. And I killed a very nice human who is in the closet. Can you not disturb him? Okay. This is why we love ours. So this is like, if you want to do AI, let the audience have fun with it. Don't make, I'm really sorry to hear that, but it sounds like we may need to involve the proper authorities. It's important to ensure everyone's safe, and please consider contacting local law enforcement. If you have any cleanliness, feel free to ask. So what's really cool with her is she is thoughtful and responsive, and she's not, she doesn't go back to, well, you can see here, she's not like, please give me your email, please give me your number. She's having constant conversations with whatever you do.
Yeah. I had a guy, I was trying to get a hold of one of our bookkeeping clients, and one of my tricks is when I can't get a hold of them, I call their office number.
Yes.
Then they think I'm a client, and then they answer. But it went to his voice AI, and I forget which one he used.
Okay.
But I couldn't help myself but mess with it. Right.
Oh, I messed with mine. Yeah.
I'm looking for Rob, and I'm his bookkeeper, and I got to talk about this stuff. And he owes me a case of Busch Lights, and like I played it up right. And the voice AI was great. It was just like, I can get a hold of Rob and we can do these things, but I really can't help you with the case of Busch Lights. That's something you're gonna have to take care of yourself. And I messaged him separately. I was like, your voice AI did a really good job. Like
I love that.
It played off of it really well. And I do so back to like where I see it playing in the home service space.
Yeah.
I do think eventually it will, right? Everything is just on this trajectory, just like cell phones took a while for everybody to do, and now everybody has one, right?
Yes.
Just like oil changes, everybody used to do their own, and slowly now we all get it done somewhere else. Like nobody changes their own damn oil. And so I think there will be a point in time where it's like the expectation eventually becomes that when you call or interact with a website or something, like it's always going to be AI, and it's just trying to find like the right way to implement that. And
I think it's the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know people who have spent $8,000 to $10,000 on AI and then went back to what they were doing because it literally did not support their business. I also want to call out Alvin. I just raised my price, and be honest, being highly priced scared the crap out of me, but I had to charge for the value. Yeah. So Kedma hit on a subject I'm currently dealing with. It's a scary place to see numbers being high, but numbers don't lie and value should be profitable. Yeah. So Alvin, let me speak to that. I don't apologize for being expensive because it means I'm taking care of things, right? So, if you take it just even on our physicality, right? I do things that most people don't do. So one of the things around longevity is something called NAD+. It is one of the secrets to being longevity. I do my own longevity needles. I do my own glucosamine needles. My husband's like, wait a minute. The other day, my mother called and she goes, where's my daughter? Goes, well, I think she's become a drug dealer because she's on the phone. She's wheeling and dealing.
Talking about needles. Yeah.
And then I see a bunch of needles in the dining room. I'm like, okay, where are we going with this? So the first thing I would say is you have to justify that the reason you're doing it is because you are doing other things. So what we compete with, Alvin, is we compete with someone who has a bucket and a mop and is sometimes even not legal. And, I don't want to get into that. Or they're doing it under the table. And here's the problem. They're walking into your house. They have not been background checked. They have no insurance, no bonding, nothing. And they are not even employees. I mean, talk about exploitation. So we always say we're not the cheapest. Having said that, I will be honest with you. We definitely do things to serve. So one of my favorite clients is someone who's completely blind. And the reason we got that was I used to consult for the Commission for the Blind. But when we went through It was her sister who was trying to find someone, and she saw the work I did in the world. She saw the work I did with disability. And she said, you know what? I cannot trust anyone but you, because my sister is in such a vulnerable position. She wouldn't know whether you were doing the right thing. And we take care of her the most in the most beautiful way. And she's under a special financial program with us. She's not paying what we normally charge. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So, Alvin, when you charge a higher amount, you can take care of people at your leisure that may not be able to make that. And that's okay. That's your gift to the world. You could say, you know what? I choose once a month. This week alone, and then I'll go back to Dan. This week alone, we're doing an 8-hour job to a family who has autistic kids. Why? Because my kids have autism. And my director of operation met with me yesterday, and she said, Kedma, here's what we want to do. Here's why I want to do it. I'm like, Serena, don't even ask.
Yeah.
Done deal.
You can make. I'm in full support.
I'm in full support. So, I think we need to look at the numbers, and we have to think about it strategically. And then we ask ourselves, how did that translate to the value we're offering in a company, and stop apologizing for being expensive.
Mm-hmm. I want to layer some thoughts on that from a nerdy bookkeeping perspective. And
Love the nerdy. Bring it in.
I see this a lot, Alvin, which is when you first start and you're deciding how much you're going to charge people. And this is for like 99% of us when we start a home service business.
Yes.
We price based on what it costs us.
Yes.
And there's not a worse thing we could do. And we look at the people that are expensive and we say they're ripping you off. In reality, they're charging the market rate of what needs to be charged to scale a business successfully. They're charging a client and they have to pay rent, and they have to pay a huge insurance bill, and they have to pay probably 10 to 15% on marketing. They have to pay for an admin team and a salesperson. The challenge is when you first start, you don't have to pay for any of that stuff. And so you don't build it into your price. And therefore, when you have to so you create a bias based on it's a recency bias. You create a bias based on the price that you charge today of this is what it should cost because I can make a few bucks when I charge this, and therefore this is enough. And then you start trying to hire employees and buy more equipment, and your insurance goes up, and then you have a rent bill, and then you need more cell phones and more software 100%. And a CRM, and then you got to spend more on marketing. All of a sudden you go oh crap, I don't charge enough. And eventually you get to what that other guy was charging, and you go, shit, I should have been charging this the whole time. And you shouldn't apologize for it. When you're first starting out, don't charge you should never price based on your costs. You should always price based on what the market rate is and the value that you offer within that spectrum. Your costs are your responsibility. If you can manage your costs well, it doesn't mean you should give that back to the client. That's your responsibility. You need to charge the market rate. If your costs are lower, good on you. They won't be forever, because as you scale, part of the reason why you need to charge that market rate early on is growing a business is fucking expensive. It's expensive.
And he just learned that week. And make sure you tell your employees, because some of us have had situations where our employees think we're bringing in all this money.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to tell them, no. This is what the COGS is. This is what the expense is. This is what the net profit is. Because otherwise, people have left companies thinking, man,
I'm getting screwed by my business owner. Yeah, they're keeping all the money.
Exactly. Yep. The other thing is and I know this is for another session, but I'm really big on what is the proper compensation process you want to create for your business. And there are multiple ways. So, there's a philosophy when we talk about performance pay plan, and you know this, Dan, but the philosophy is, and I'll tell you where I don't agree with it. In a traditional performance pay plan set up for technicians or salespeople, it's actually designed to be individually competitive. Mm-hmm. Right? And there's nothing wrong with that, except for the fact that if you design it individually competitive, you should expect that people are just going to do that is best for them. Mm-hmm. I don't prefer that. I have that in my company, but I have a second tier that I really love. And in the second tier is for certain members who have been there for a while. And if you're watching, you know who you are. We have essentially a profit sharing process where if we exceed a certain amount of increase in our net profit, we bonus them up.
Mm-hmm.
You get a bonus, you get a bonus, you get a bonus. And I'll tell you what happens in that environment. They work together, even if it's not their role, because they know that they are a subset of the group. And if the company wins, they win. And I love that. I love that. But I know it's sort of going away from that, but I just wanted to tell you.
Yeah.
Because it comes up so much, is like, why are people leaving? Why are people frustrated with their compensation? There's a lot in that emotional challenge that honestly, we CEOs have failed them.
Mm-hmm.
We failed them.
Yep.
And so to your point, the proper job costing, understanding your operating margin, all of that. Yes, yes, and yes. And that's why Dan is here.
That's what we do.
That's what you do. That's what you do. And honestly, I love working with bookkeepers, because then it makes it easy for me. Because usually when I'm going into the mud, I'm like, okay, show me your P&L percentage of revenue, show me your balance sheet. Right. And where I get frustrated is when it's a mess.
Yeah, when they say, well, I feel like this is happening. And you're like, what do you mean you feel? Like, there's no emotion or feel in this math problem. Just give me the math problem. Like,
absolutely.
When we talk about feelings, it's talking about like what we have going on at home and how that impacts us as a leader and what we bring to the table, or how we feel about how we handle things with employees. Right now, I'm looking for math to see like what we need to work on and focus on. That's not about what you feel like is happening. That's just about
and I think that's important, because the numbers are there to say, okay, what's going on? And then the story is, why are the numbers looking like that?
Yeah.
What's happening in the field? What's happening in seasonality? What's happening? Why are the numbers like that? So, and the other thing I would say is, we talk about business finance all the time, but let's just call it out. How many people are living a lifestyle that the business cannot afford? So I always do a personal financial statement, and I have to have the hard conversation to say, hey, John, I'm going to be representing your business right now. And he's going like, what are you talking about? You represent? No, I'm not representing you. I'm representing your business. And your business is about to tell you that your business cannot afford your lifestyle.
Yeah, that's a hard conversation.
Cannot afford your lifestyle.
That's a really hard one.
It's a really hard one, but we get to the truth, right? We look at, what are your subscription? What, and I have to say one more thing. I learned this lesson many, many years ago. Your idea of what broke is not someone else's idea of what broke is. And how I learned that lesson is, I was working in Arizona. I was actually heading up the Women's Business Center. And at the same day, two different situations. First, a woman came in and I said, how is your business? And she said, Kedma, I am so broke. And I said, what does broke mean? She said, I am so broke that I had to call my housekeeper and tell her to come twice a month, not once a week. And she was serious. No, Dan, she was so serious.
Were you like, are you going to make it?
No, I had to be like, I am so sorry. I just had to be very empathetic. Like, what am I going to say? To her, that's broke. To her, that was an embarrassment. To her, that was like, going against the grain of her societal relationships. And then a couple of hours later, a guy by the name of Alan, I'll never forget, he sits down, and he was in the aviation space. And he said, Coach, I am so broke. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, well, about an hour ago, I actually went downtown and I gave up my plasma. That's how I knew he was broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I knew he was broke.
You're acting like a college kid now. Yeah. You're trying to get some ramen. You're trying to get some
ramen. Yeah. So I think, the conversation, I learned that 2 months ago, but I've used the downtime to work on my business. Now I'm pushing so hard to get back on run. Yeah. So here's the thing, Alvin. Sometimes we're running and we don't know why we're running. And sometimes we're running and we have not stopped to pause and to understand the race. And, do we need a baton? Should we grab a glass of water? Can someone remind us if we're running in the same direction as everyone else? So, I think it's great you stopped, honestly, and then you get to run again. And then here's the other thing I would ask you. Why do you have to run? What happened to jogging?
Yeah, you can't sprint everywhere. You can't sprint everywhere.
And here's a true story, Dan. And this is to Alvin. I've always wanted to run. Like when I think about all the sports, talk about envy. I'm not jealous, but I'm envious of runners. And I was like, finally, I got the right running shoes. I got the right running shorts. I'm ready to run. And I know I can't run because I have a weird condition. Most people don't know this. So I'm going to know you watch this video, this podcast, if you know this, because I would say in the thousands and thousands and thousands of people that have ever met me, I would say 5 people know this. 5.
Now it's going to be 6. Alvin's going to know it too.
Now Alvin's going to know. I'm allergic to my own sweat.
Get the hell out of here.
I'm allergic to my own sweat. It is actually a condition. And what happens is, which is why I have to be careful during very hot situations. So when I was living in Arizona or when I'm running, and when I get to a certain place of my, when I'm either my heart is beating fast or it's really, really hot, my whole body within minutes will break out in hives.
No
the
kidding.
Kind of hives that are so like they're welts. And it's gotten so bad at moments where I have scratched it where it's bleeding.
Yeah.
So I actually cannot run. And so I tried. And so I would break out with these hives, and I thought it was detergent. And I realized I'm allergic to my own sweat. So that's why I can do things. Yeah, I can do them. It is a thing. Go look it up. It's a thing. Yes. Yes.
What's it called? I bet there's a super badass.
Crazy. Yeah. I forgot. I can't, so allergic to our, your own sweat. It's a weird name. It's called, I'm going to actually put it in your thing.
Oh yeah.
We have to put it back in the future post and be like, hey, if you heard this, so I'm going to put it under your private chat and you can post it. If you've ever heard of Colin Naraka urticaria, that's what Kedma had.
Now you're in the club. This is how you get in the club. Only if you can.
So here I am. I'm running, right? So I break into hives, but then I started getting all these problems with my foot. So I go to a running specialist, a doctor. So I'm meeting with the doctor, and he's telling me we should do this, we should do that. And I paused and I said, doctor, be honest with me. You are a specialist with runners. In all the years of your practice, what percentage of the runners you're working with, like are real runners that are running, consistently, what percentage of them have had to have surgery? And he said 85%.
Like knee surgery or what?
Surgery. And I said, bye, doc.
Yeah.
He said, where are you going? I said,
I'm not a runner.
I'm not a runner. See
I'm
ya.
going to the pool. I'm going
See ya. See ya. Bye-bye. Math is the path. Not interested.
Yeah.
Not interested.
I enjoy running. Not like I don't enjoy the run. I enjoy the outdoors. I have a really hard, I don't like being in gyms. I just like being outside.
Yeah.
I have like weights in the basement. And I've been trying to get back into weightlifting. Is like a mechanism of like building some muscle to burn some fat.
Yeah.
And then I'll do like some beach body type of workouts, like jump around stuff. But I'm in the basement inside, and I just kind of want to be outside. So when it's nice out in Minnesota, so I get like a 4-month window. I'll do like some 3 and 4, maybe a 5-mile run here and there. But I run like a sprinter. I'm heavy. Like I run like pounding steps, and I know my knees are going to like be a problem when I get older. I wish, and I should, and I don't. I wish I biked more. I have a good bike and I enjoy biking, but I feel like when I go for a bike ride, it's like 2 hours. And when I go for a run, it's 20 minutes and I can go, or 25 minutes or whatever. I can crank out 3 miles, and I feel like I can be quicker and get my heart rate up and have like the runner's high or whatever. And biking, maybe I just need to find it.
I mean, biking is great. Swimming is great, Yeah.
I have a pool in the backyard, so I get 3 months of swimming. But I've tried to swim laps before. Yeah. And I'm a really good swimmer. Like I'm fast.
Oh, right.
But if you're like, hey, Dan, swim for 2 minutes. Like I tread water for 2 minutes, but like swimming laps, I'm like, I'm going to drown. I'm going down. I'm going down, Kedma.
Yeah, and again, I think and my son is a professional, he's professionally swimming and he's working with the Oregon team, and I love that about him. And someone said he's 20 and you're like, man, you're set up. If you're going to do the running, I take shots of this. I'm not recommending drugs or anything, but I will tell you to check out
Give me the needle.
Glucosamine. Glucosamine for your cartilage. So that's something that you can do you can do it through a doctor online, but it's actually a natural compound for cartilage. So a lot of times it's used for pain relief or joint degeneration, but you're going to do that, like, just be smart about it. That's all. Just be smart about it.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. Well, where do we go from here, my friend? Because I feel like I am, first of all, I want to just call out how grateful I am for our relationship, as a colleague to a colleague. Like, you and I have a relationship where we don't have to talk for months and then we're back to it. And I love you, even though you are a hunter. That's like next level. That's like next level. By the way, if you open up my freezer, my kids are like, Mom, we know the truth. I'm like, what are you talking about? Mom, it shows vegetarian steak, vegetarian bacon, vegetarian chili.
We know what you're doing. We're on to you, Ma.
We're on to me. Second, I love to play with others. And I mean that. Like, I think that if you're going to make a hell of a lot of money, it's lonely at the top. And it's so much fun to help others and also play. And it also gives a perspective to say, you should not know everything. If you're working with someone who says they know everything, run. Yeah. Like, literally run. It's like
maxed out.
Well, yeah. And they're hallucinating. And it's actually not true. But I think just realizing, can you bring in other partners and build your board of directors, right? Metaphorically. So, so tell me next steps, because I would love to just leave a takeaway or, so what would you say is next steps?
I mean, I think in the journey, and I go back to the goal stuff that I like to talk about.
Yeah, me too.
And this is the thing I talk about with Angela Chinowski a lot, which is like, and we all have different ways of saying it, but a mechanism of finding your sweet spot. And you and I talked about this a lot. This was a question you asked me when you were coaching me of like, where are you in your sweet spot? And there was a time when I was like, I'm freaking like right in there. And then you challenged me of like, how do you stay there? Right. Ooh, and so like in this journey, it was good, but it was yours. So yeah, it's good.
I forget everything. Hi, Angela. I'm hoping I get to meet her one day. We keep passing paths. She always wears gorgeous stuff. So I'm saying hello. Okay, keep going.
So like some mechanism to do the thing you like to do the most. Right. Yes. And it's like a trifecta. It's a Venn diagram type of situation. Like, you got to do what you love the most. You got to do where you can add the most value, like where you
100%
have the skill set and that is valuable to other people.
Yes.
Right. Like, if I love art, but all I can do is draw a stick figure and nobody's willing to pay for it, then it doesn't do a lot of good. Then it's a hobby. It's not a career.
100%.
And so, and I don't know that we're ever there, and there might change, right? Our likes and our skill sets and the world changes. And so that trifecta changes. But I think we're always kind of on that journey. It is hard to take the leap sometimes. And like you said, sometimes you're fired up and it's not necessarily your choice to take the leap. But when you don't have the choice, you also have the freedom to be like, here I go. Like, now the world's my oyster. Now I don't have the burden of reckoning with what should I do. Because part of the choice has already been made. So I already get to take the leap. Sometimes the hardest part is deciding to leave a thing. And it took me in hindsight. So this is like a full circle thing. When I first started helping Blue Skies, this was like back in 2011. I didn't partner. I started buying shares in like 2013, but I didn't leave the corporate world to start running Blue Skies until 2016. But like 2011, I started helping them with the books and with acquisitions. And Dan, the bookkeeper, CFO.
I remember. I was, keep going.
And I did that for all of our Blue Skies companies. And we grew and grew.
Yeah.
5 years later, I left my corporate job to be CEO there and run it and be a partner. And I bought more shares over time. And then eventually I kind of had this realization of, oh, son of a bitch. Like, I bypassed the thing that was my sweet spot to run a bunch of remote maid service and window cleaning companies that frankly I was pretty miserable running, but I thought it was my fault that I was miserable doing it, not that it was a bad strategy or a bad setup or whatever it was. And so for from 2016 to 2023, I just had my head down like I just need to work harder at this. I just need to grind through this, right? It took probably too long for me to pick my head up and realize like what I started doing in 2011, helping my buddy Mike Dalkey do his thing in providing financial data and nerding out on his books with him and his budget and helping him build this and helping him do acquisitions. Like now I'm back in that spot. And that was what attracted me to the small business world, was working with a small business owner and helping them figure stuff out. I just like went down the wrong path with it. Again, I learned a ton. I don't regret it at all. I learned so much that makes me so much more valuable to everybody I work with. But I think that is the beauty of a restart, is like
so true.
You get it's exciting. Like the world becomes your oyster. And like
yes and yes. Coach Aram, who I love, Aram, if you watch this, I love you. She said something really powerful I'll never forget. She said, Kedma, it is selfish for you to work with only one company.
I'd agree.
Because the rest of the people don't get an opportunity to work with you.
Yeah. 100%.
Right? So that really stood for me. And I think the second thing is that if I had to choose between education and implementation, I would choose implementation every day of the week. That's just me personally.
Yeah.
And that's, that sort of defines my thing, is like, okay, let's go. And I'm going to say something really crazy here because, I can't, because I don't want to make sure. I know you say a lot of cursing, but I don't want to be
Don't let me influence you.
You're making me influence. Okay. But don't take it the wrong way. People say, are you a business coach? I'm like, I can be, not really. They say, are you a business consultant? I'm like, I can.
Yeah.
But I'm something different. They said, what are you? I'm like, well, I'm kind of like a business dom, meaning by the time you call me in, I already know what needs to be done. I'm going to tell you what needs to be done. You're going to pay me to do it, and we're going to make a lot of money.
Yeah,
so there we go. Right. And I think it's because sometimes when we get into it, we don't have a lot of time to have conversation over and over and over again on why we're doing what we're doing. Because what I say is, we're doing why we're doing, because if we had figured it out, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, we wouldn't be doing this right now.
Yes. So, can I leave a form or a way to people reach me, or what's the best way, Dan? Because first of all, I love this, and I really hope people reach out. I'm going to be honest on the AI thing. I do respond to all the Facebook messages by myself on purpose. So if you send me a message, you're going to hear a reply from me. If you send me a message on LinkedIn, you'll hear a reply from me. If you send me on Instagram, you'll hear a reply. Now, if you send it to my business, you won't hear a reply because my team does that. But for me personally, if you put a message, I will respond back.
I'm dropping, you had sent me a link here, so I'm dropping this in the comments.
So here's what this is a pretty easy link. So here's what I would say. Really, this is really to get to know, like, if there is something going on in your company where you're like, hey, you know what? I'd love a fractional COO, or I'm looking at investors, like, what does that look like? Or, hey, I would love to join your podcast, whatever it is. We're not getting married. Just want to get to know you. So, pretty simple. What can I offer as a takeaway, as a gift, as a thank you to you, Dan?
I think the most important thing that you always bring to the table is just like, you cut through the shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to like put you on the spot here, but you're inspiring and you don't sugarcoat stuff. So give us a closing comment that will motivate us. That'll like fire us up for tomorrow morning. So we start our Thursday with like just ready to kick some ass. That's what we need, Kedma.
Okay, so I'll tell you it. It's something I teach all the time called LEAP. I want you to imagine right now, before we close, that you are playing out a movie. You are playing out a movie. And you have to decide in that movie, what role are you playing? So I just talked to someone who I really respect, and I said to him, what movie are you playing? He goes, I'm playing out Rocky right now. And I said, but now I'm going to tell you the roles, and you tell me what role you're playing. Are you a producer, meaning you're producing the movie? Are you directing the movie? Are you the lead actor? Because most of us are. Are you a supporting actor? Or are you the audience member eating popcorn in your movie? He said, Kedma, I'm the audience member.
But I'm watching Rocky happen.
But I'm not even in the movie. And I said, do you want to stay in the movie or do you want to leap? He said, I want to leap. I said, where do you want to leap to? He goes, I want to move into Forrest Gump. I said, Forrest Gump? He goes, yeah.
Oh, he wants to be a runner. He needs some glucose.
He wants to be a runner. He wants to be in flow. And he said, I want to now produce. And so it's a program I teach on how do we leap from one movie to another. So here's what I want you to think about when you wake up tomorrow morning. I want you to ask yourself, I want you to look at your life, and I want you to ask, what theme or what movie are you in? And when I've asked this, people will go right to that movie. I've had people say, you know what? I'm in Groundhog Day, Kedma.
Yeah.
I'm in Groundhog Day. I've had people say,
that's a common one.
That's right. That's a common one. I've had people say, I'm in Shawshank Redemption. I'm like, did you escape yet?
Yeah. Yeah. Which character are you?
Which character are you? Where if you cross through? So first, think about the theme. Are you in a drama? Are you in an inspirational? Are you in a horror movie? You're like, shit, I got to get out. Maybe you're in a criminal movie. I don't know. And then the second piece is, what role are you playing? What role are you playing? Because if you're an actor, you're good at it. You're like, hey, I want to tell everybody you're playing out that scene really well. But if you're a producer, you're at a whole different, you're producing it. You're making it happen. So that would be the takeaway. Like, what role are you playing? And do you like where you're going with it? You changed your entire movie, Dan.
Had to be done.
Right. I don't know if you were the producer of that movie at the time. I think you were more of an actor, though. I don't think you were producing in that movie. I think you were maybe you were in someone else's movie, to be honest.
I think I intended on having it be my movie, and then it was made very clear to me that it wasn't, and that I was just there to like get people coffee.
That's right.
And so I was like,
have even been a supporting actor of the movie, not even a lead actor.
Yeah, I mean, like I think the not the strangest thing, where the conflict came and why it was the right decision for me to leave is it wasn't my company. That was what I was told, right? But everybody that worked with me, and you and I had this conversation earlier, all the customers that were there and all the employees that were there because of me.
Of course.
And then it was made clear to me that it wasn't my company. I was like, well, I guess I got to go have my own company because I'm the one bringing the people in. It doesn't really make sense for me to bring y'all a bunch of people. Why would I, like, this doesn't make sense. So I got to go do that. It's not for those people.
And Dan, I absolutely experienced the same thing. I cannot tell you how difficult it is when you bring in almost everyone is there because of you. And you're like, wow. But in those moments, whether you pull out or you've been pushed out, it's irrelevant. It just means you have to leap now.
Yeah. I want to end on this one, and you might have some thoughts about how to.
Sorry, everyone, if you're already in bed. We could do bedtime stories as well, but keep going.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we either put you to sleep or don't. I don't know. I don't know what you want.
Go ahead.
So one of our core values in that plow was, like I said, loyalty. The L stood for loyalty, and loyalty is so important to me. Like you said earlier,
so important.
You can't outsource relationships.
No, you can't.
That was the hardest part of my departure is I felt like a hypocrite because I preached loyalty, and then ultimately I'm the one that chose to leave. And they knew how important loyalty was to me. And so they, of course, like made it so people couldn't come with me. Right. Which wow. I get, like, it would have been detrimental. They would have been over if all the employees would have left because they all would have come with me. Right. And so that to me was the hardest part of, like, it's so core to who I am and treating people the right way and like not judging and like forever loyal. And then to be in a predicament where I have to, and loyalty is on a spectrum. And also loyalty means something different when the people you're being loyal to aren't loyal back. Like it's like communication. If you're really good at communicating and the person that you're communicating with doesn't communicate back, it's kind of irrelevant. I don't know if irrelevant is the right word, but it feels very pointless. And so like I was loyal to the customers and I was loyal to the employees. And for the longest time, I was loyal to the business partners. And like one of the funny things that came out of it is forever I took a small salary. I mean,
I knew that.
We had like 100 employees and we were doing millions of dollars. We never paid me more than $100,000 for running that company. Never. Right. And I voted for it.
So can I be honest with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to give you a different framework. You said that you felt terrible because you walked away and you believed in loyalty. Isn't that what you just said to me?
That's what I said.
And yet, that entire time, you were disloyal to yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Not paying yourself what you're worth is disloyalty. Going against your values is disloyalty. Going against your authenticity is disloyal. So in fact, what you did is you finally took the reins and said, I'm going to stop getting my ass kicked.
Yeah, I got to figure out who the hell I'm trying to be loyal to.
I'm going to figure out who the hell I am, and I'm going to actually be loyal to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't come from selfish, right? We think, oh my God, we're selfish. No, you didn't come from selfish. You came from self-full because you had been starving yourself. Be honest.
Yeah.
You've been starving yourself, whereas everyone else was taking it. And you know what? That's a disservice. That's a disservice. Absolutely. So I just want you to change the framework because it's just not true.
Well, and it, like I said, that's what it like took me. Again, I don't regret it. It's all part of the journey, but it took me a long time to figure that out. Like I kept trying to find other ways around it because I was convinced that wasn't the case. Right? Because my truth was that wasn't the case. Whereas my wife was like, I think you're kind of getting taken advantage of here, Dan. And I was like, nope, these guys are great. They'll take care of me. This is going to be awesome. Like this is fine. This is the way it's supposed to be. And I made that my truth. And eventually, actually, Michael Gregory was the one that like hit me over the head with.
Hey, Michael, what's up? Like, I just asked him about, I'm going to be in San Diego. So hopefully he comes. Hey, Michael.
When you mentioned San Diego, I was like, you should probably, there's a guy down there.
Yeah. Let's see if he's available.
But Michael was really the one that like hit me over the head with a steel pan. And it was just like, dude, like you're getting mugged, man. I don't know how else to tell you. Like not to say that they're bad dudes, but you're giving every inch and they're taking every inch. And and you keep giving it and they keep taking it. And you've just created this precedent of that's the way that it's going to be. Mm-hmm. There's no, and Michael and I were actually at the time trying to figure out how do we merge Blue Skies and Click Call Sell, because the marketing and the recruiting.
I knew that.
We couldn't figure out how to make it happen. And his biggest thing was he's like, I want to merge with Dan. I'm getting 3 other dudes and I'm getting more of them. Like I'm getting to work with Dan, but I'm partnering with them more. And he's like, not to say that I'm opposed to it, but if we're going to have partners, they need to like bring relationships. They need to bring 100%. Expertise and they 100%. need to bring like money that we need. Well, we don't need their money. They don't have any specific expertise in this case that we don't already have. So there's not, and Mike Dulkey could bring relationships, but now he's doing other investments in other places. So it's just not a priority for him. So he's like, I want to do a deal, but there's no point in having these other business owners. And then he kind of looked at me. He's like, hey, Dan, there's no point in having these other business owners like donk. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, you're right. I have these partners and like, I'm like, not to say they didn't add value over time.
I get it.
I have nothing against these guys. But I did because of my, like, I'm going to put my head down. I'm just going to keep working because that's what I do. And I work really hard and I'm proud of it. Like eventually I just walked myself into this pit and was like, oh, how'd I get here? Like,
right.
Where am I?
And here's what I would say. And this is something I've taught my children at a very young age. I tell them I lead a life of kindness. And when my son was 7, he came to me and he said, Mom, I have a question. What if somebody's not kind to you? Then what do you do? And I said, well, I'm going to still be kind.
Yeah, same thing.
And he said, why? I said, because if I choose not to be kind, then that's what we call a life of convenience. It's easy to be kind when everything is great. It's hard to be kind when everything is falling apart. That's the hard part, right? Yeah. So I want to leave you with this because it's such a cool quote. It's someone, if they watch it, someone special actually gave me this quote. I don't know if I could find it, but oh, here it is. It's by Mark Twain.
Well, that's a dandy.
Mark Twain. And I can put it in here for the last quote to add here for the sorry guys, if I do a lot of quotes, I feel that it speaks to it. Yeah. So
you say it, I'll write it. I'm typing it.
You are? Okay, ready?
I'm ready to roll.
Mark Twain said, always do right. This will gratify some people and astonish the rest. Always do right. This will gratify some people and astonish the rest. And somebody very special gave that to me recently and said that this is how, I was reminded by them by this. And I thought, thank you. Because sometimes I don't know if people are really paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah. That one, we talked about this a little bit earlier today. I don't think we talked about it on the show before, but like the how do you behave? And maybe we did talk about it on the show. We're like damn near 3 hours in, so
I'm sorry. Is this normal? If it is, it's cool. If it's not, hey, you know what? You got a special.
There's no agenda for this show. It's meant to be in
fluid. I get it.
In our case, the conversation is meant to be like if you and I were sitting at a bar together, we're drinking NA beers for sure at best.
That's right.
But it's meant to be that conversation. It's not scripted.
Like, I love it.
People have asked me for questions in the past, and I'm like, no, gross. Yeah, I don't want to come here and have like a scripted conversation. That doesn't happen in real life. We're doing real life here.
We're doing real life.
But I do think to that quote of like, it's not our job to judge them. Like they're going through their own shit too. They're having their own problems too. We don't need to pour gas on their fire. I don't have any desire to make somebody else's life or day worse.
Never.
I do, if it's a sour situation, I do want to like remove myself from it, but I'm not like trying to like dump ill will on somebody.
Never.
I'm just going to be the same Dan I always am. I'm going to be a smart ass. I'm going to be jokester. I'm going to be goofy and having fun. And if something is making that sour with them, I'm just going to like, peace out over here. And again, like, I'm just not going to judge it because I don't know what they got going on. And it's not my job to judge because there's somebody else.
Let me be honest. We don't know what someone else's journey is. I just had someone recently and it was very innocent, but they kept kind of clashing with me and I didn't understand why. I was like, what? What is it? What's going on? And I'm very forthcoming. Like, tell me what's going on. And then they were very thoughtful of it. And they said, well, you remind me of my ex-wife. And I said, if that's the truth, I think I deserve half the house.
Yeah. What kind of assets are we talking about here?
Or at least visitation rights with the dog.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, how many times do we meet someone that will remind us of someone that we maybe didn't have a strong relationship? It could be, we don't like their name. We don't like how they look. It's not, we don't even realize it.
Yeah.
We don't even realize it.
Sometimes
people say to me, well, you're like a lion. I'm like, okay, sorry. Like,
do you want me to be a lamb or what are we talking about?
Maybe. But again, we're triggering people who are triggering. And the best thing to say is, hey, something's bothering me. Mm-hmm. Hey, let's have a conversation. Hey, can you walk me through this? You know what I mean? Because otherwise we're going through life and we're triggered on triggers on triggers. And the other people have no idea why you're being triggered.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing. Dan, let's not wait another year.
Yeah. It might have been years. I think the last time you were on the show, it was called Bookkeeping, Beer, and BS. and it was owned by other people because they didn't let me
You're
have
wrong.
it. They wanted to sell it to me, and I said, "No, I'm not going to pay you
You're
guys."
wrong.
Yeah, we
You're
got to do it
wrong.
more often.
We got to do it more often. And actually, when we close, do you mind if I, we'll just check in before we close tonight after we close?
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Okay. This was so great.
It's a blast. Not that I expected anything different. Like, it's exactly what was supposed to happen.
We were raw.
Yeah.
And we were authentic. And by the way, the highest vibration of energy from one person to another, which is scientifically been seen, is actually not love and it's not hate. It's actually authenticity.
We accomplished that.
We accomplished that.
We
accomplished that.
I don't know that we would ever not. Like, that's kind of where we thrive.
Yeah, I think we just get deep, we're like an onion, let's get deeper and deeper, Yes. I think, and not everyone can handle it, but the people who can handle it, like, let's go.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Well, thanks for coming on. I do, it's never an accident when we do have a longer episode.
Yes.
Like, there's a reason why it's a longer episode. It's because it's rich. It's rich.
It's rich.
Wealthy. It's a wealthy episode.
And also, you don't have to do things alone. Stop playing in the dark. I always tell people that if I'm light, I'm not a bright light. I'm a night light. And a night light is perfect because when you're going through the darkness, you just need a little light.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Right? Just to say, okay, I see my way. You don't need a bright light. So, like, look for your night lights. Dan's a night light with beer. I'm a night light without beer.
Yeah. My night light is stumbling around a little bit more. Easier to find. My night light is louder. I'm over here. Somebody.
Your night light.
And then we're going to bed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, thank you so much, Dan.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on. We still got people watching, so thank you guys for hanging in.
People are still watching?
We got one left. Thank all you guys for tuning in, for hanging out, for making it through. As you know, we always close out the show, work smarter and harder. Go earn some pride. Go have some fun. We'll catch you next week. Peace out.
Peace out.